What's going on, people? Today I have one of the most legendary videos that's possible. I guess today is an extremely legendary day because it's 2 videos in one day. Also, this video is probably going to be long, so yeah, you really eating. But today I had to give the people what they want. You already know from the music. I mean, you know from the title and the thumbnail. That's what the point is of them on YouTube, what this video is about. But yes, I got a Viability Rankings tier list. You know, I had to give my take on it. It's been very long since I've done this. I've actually been laddering a lot while I have not been playing lately. I've had a lot of busy stuff going on in my life, so I have just been playing Showdown on the side just as a little stress buster. And I mean, I like Pokemon. Like, I enjoy this game, so I've been laddering. I don't know where I'm at right now. Let me see. Shout out to Stormzone is #1. He gave me a lot of the teams I've been using to ladder with the last few months. Really fun stuff. 1921, not bad. What is that on the ladder? Is that top 20? It better be. It better be. We better be in top 20. How do I see it? Search this. Oh, 17th. So, you know, as soon as you open it up, I'm right there at 17th. You know, so that's how you know my take on this. It's a collegiate scholarly take. You need to understand what I'm telling you here is the truth. But alright, let's get into it. It's been a while since I did something like this. I do be learning a lot though. Like I said, I use a lot of fun teams. Well, to be honest, most of the teams I use are really like Landorus, Dragonite, Feeny, but we'll get into that. Let's hop into this video. So give this video a like, you know, if you've been waiting on this, appreciate it, helps the video a lot. I haven't asked for likes in a while, I think, so go ahead and give this a like, especially because it's 2 vids in one day, and this is an epic vid. Alright, so let's get to it. So let's look at it right here. The OU Viability Rankings, it has now been, what, 2 solid years since Gen 8's come out. It's been a year since Spectre got dropped, and, you know, that metagame shift happened. And, you know, a new game is coming now in November, so, right? Yeah, a new game is coming in November, so if that has a lot of metagame shifts, then, you know, this might be the last we see of this Gen 8 OU metagame. Personally, I quite enjoy the metagame. I think it's very fun. At least ladder, I think is very fun. Tournament, I watch, and it's not too bad. But I really don't have any problems with this metagame. I think it's pretty cool. There's nothing that's too broken to me. I go back and forth on some stuff, but all in all, like, I enjoy laddering. There's a reason I ladder so much. I got insane teams too. Look at this team my boy Stormzone gave me. The Coronavirus. That's right. The Buzzwole, Nidoking, Reuniclus, Sub, Suicune Star. I got something nasty for everybody. More than the hella go teams in the back, because you know I'm addicted to that mon after earlier today. I'm telling you, if you put Meteor Beam in the title, folks, it's like the ultimate attention grabber. You get all the nerds. And then if you put Shiny Nihilego like I did, then you get all the noobs. It's just like it's an epic title, SEO tactics. You know, if you're trying to become a budding YouTuber, I got the stuff for you. But let's go over this. S rank Landorus T. So that's pretty interesting. Landorus T has yet again clobbered another metagame and has become S rank. I think this is interesting because I remember Clefable used to be S rank. Now that shit's not S minus or A plus, it's A. So we'll get to that when we get to that. But Landorus at S rank, I mean, we go through my teams, you can basically see that I'm a very heavy Landorus user. There's nothing to get like confused about. I only really use this set, to be honest with you guys, especially defensive Landorus. This is my favorite set. I use some other ones too. I'll show the ones I use, but especially defensive Landorus is my favorite set. So my buddy Stormzone showed me this set. Big shouts to him a few months ago, and honestly I've been using it ever since. I find it really bulky on both sides, obviously, because you still retain Intimidate, so you know you get that buffed physical defense. HP is very high, and the Spadef at 284 is actually quite good. Landorus has, like, it's saved me in so many situations. Stuff like Shadow Ball from Specs Dragapol doesn't 2-hit KO. Stuff that's like really strong that thinks they can kill you, they always go for it and they don't kill you. Like, I've had Slowbro go for Ice Beam when I'm at 60%, and then I just live with like 2%, and I Toxic or I Stealth Rock. Or it's really incredible. Like, I'm telling you, it's absolutely incredible what this thing can live with the Spadef spread. And I don't know, that set has really become my favorite. It's a set I use a lot. I'll show you another set I use a lot. This one, Stealth Rock, Smackdown, U-Turn, EQ. Shout out my boy Devin, he passed me this one. Very strong. A lot of these teams, as you can see, are pretty ill-equipped to deal with something like offensive Landorus. People just hope you aren't offensive Landorus. And by that logic, you can also bring up the Swords Dance Landorus. I have a Gravity Swords Dance Landorus team I got from my bro Eclipse. Yeah, so this team is very cool. EQ, Swords Dance, Gravity, Stone Edge. Again, just utilizing the offensive prowess of Landorus T. But I use both a lot. I use a lot of Spadef, U-turn, Landorus, like I just showed you. Like on this team, again, it's Spadef. Here it's Defog, U-turn, Toxic, EQ. So I'm really the one who spams all this set like a lot. And I mean, if you guys have seen my videos lately, it's been pretty apparent that like I love this set. I believe in the Nihilego video, that is the set. Let me take a look. I just want to make sure, you know. Is that the set? Yup, again, Spadef. Super Spadef Defog. It's just nice. It's able to take a lot of special moves. Coco, for example, that so many people run, it cannot touch Landorus. If it's not specs, Dazzling Gleam does like 25%. Like it's dog shit. Like it can't do anything. Landorus is still very strong with its EQ, enough to where, you know, it poses like a big enough threat doing damage. You turn out for initiative, Toxic to hit other stuff, and then Defog or whatever, Stealth Rock is basically the support option that you need for whatever your team needs. Landorus is obviously the most expendable mon, or like most creative, versatile, whatever you want to call it. Like that mon can do everything you ever need it to do. That's why it's like the GOAT of mons. It's incredible to me that it's at S rank though, above everything else again. That's very fucked up. It's been so many gens now. 5, 6, 7, 8. Is it the best in 5? Nah, it ain't the best. It's good as hell in 5, but it ain't the best. It's the best in 6 and it's the best in 7. It's like Jesus H. Christ in 7. Are you crazy? But other than that, I think I showed all the Landorus sets I really use. But if you guys have not used Spadef, I would really recommend using it. I feel, I mean, a lot of people do use it. We play it on the ladder all the time. If you guys seen my videos, but again, it can just tank stuff you'd never expect. Stuff like Hydreigon, Lele. You can tank the hit. You can get off a heavy hit in retaliation. Sometimes you need that chip, and then you're still able to check stuff like a Zero Aura still, just by virtue of typing. You're still able to tank a hit from something like Garchomp, something like Kartana. You're still able to check other Landorus. It's really an amazing mon. So Spadef is what I gotta say is my favorite. You guys can see how many of, like, I'm just going through all these teams right now just to show you how many of these Landorus I use as Spadef. And again, shouts to my bro Stormzone, because he's the one who put me on. I mean, these are all his teams. Like you guys know I don't really make my own teams. I don't really care to build teams. I just get them from people, and if something looks fun, then I use it. And he sent me quite a few just like fun little ladder stuffs, and you know, it definitely like made me realize some stuff about the metagame. Even like using fun stuff like when like Glastrier or Nihilego, or like this team is very fun. It has Banded. I'll use this in a video soon. Banded, Buzzwole, and Spec Zero Aura, like complete crazy shit. But what I'm saying is, you can use these types of mons when you have a pivot like Landorus, and that's exactly what Toxapex and Clefable used to enable as well. They let you use dog shit or whatever because you could just fall back on your support mon. But Landorus being at the top, I definitely understand it. I mean, play it so much. I need to see its usage. Hold on, I need to get the usage statistics. 1 second, guys. Okay, and after quite a few minutes of looking for this, I was able to find it. Jeez, man, big ass smoke on forums. But we have the OU usage now. So, sorry, I just got disturbed. But if we're looking at it, Landorus is at 42%. This is ridiculous. This is actually absurd. I had no idea it was this insane. Like, this is absolutely ridiculous. 42% is just ridiculous. Like, what the fuck? 1695 stats. Yeah, that's what's important. 42% is so ridiculous. That's like every team, right? Because there's two teams per battle. So if it was in 50% of games, then it would be in every battle. So it's basically in every battle. Like it's in 42% out of 50%. So that's really like, it's like in 84% of games. What the hell? That's really broken. This is just the Landorus effect. The Landorus effect, where it just completely suffocates a metagame. It becomes #1. But yeah, all I can say for that is these are disgusting. This is disgusting to see this thing at 42%. We'll talk about the rest of the shit. But yeah, this thing is the best, but we're gonna get to the mon that I actually think is the best, which is literally Dragapol. So I've thought Dragapol is the best mon for a pretty long time. I think Landorus is kind of overrated in terms of like how well it can do every role. I'm not saying it's not good at its job. It's always good at its job, but it cannot do everything always, you know? I said it's a special tank, okay? That doesn't mean it can take like Specs Draco or some shit, okay? Like all the time. I said it's an offensive mon. That means it's frail. That means something like Zero Aura, it probably does like 30% with knockoff. Oh shit, you can only switch in one time. So I think something like Dragapol is the best mon because it's a one-trick pony in the sense that you only need to run one set to basically make moves with this thing. This thing has one proper switch-in, which to me is Tyranitar for the most part. If you're playing stall, Specs Dragapult is not going to be very effective regardless, but you can always do something with U-turn. But I mean, obviously Chansey, but Specs Dragapult in general, and even Status Spreader, because it's a similar type of strategy, but I personally don't like status spreading Dragapult, especially in today's metagame where everybody runs Feeny. Status spreading Dragapult just seems very mediocre. But yeah, Specs and even Banded, but Specs Dragapult is very, very just, you just have to bring it in and basically go for your stab type move. It's one of the easiest mons to use. Look at all the teams I'm using, right? Majority of these don't really have a good Shadow Ball switch-in, or they have a one-time switch-in. Look at this team, for example. Obviously, this team is a little bit more fun with Azumarill and Rhyperior, but it covers the framework of a regular team. My counter is Spadef Landorus. My Ferrothorn is 3 at KO'd by Spec Shadow Ball because it's not Spadef, right? And God forbid they go for the fire move. You see a much more standard looking team like this one, right? And what is my Spec Shadow Ball switching? It's Assault Vest Melmetal, which takes like 30%. So if a Rocks or Spike is up, it's not a good check at all. And then Landorus, which again, what does it do? It EQs or Toxics, which neither kill. And again, if you switch in a Draco, that's very bad. Clef is Rocky Helmet Fizdev, so it's gonna get popped by Shadow Ball. Especially if people run Modest. I run Modest all the time on my Dragapult. Sometimes I get greedy, and when I don't need the speed and I can afford to be slower than stuff like Tapu Koko, I run Modest, and it's very, very strong. But yeah, I run quite a few Dragapult teams. I have this team from a guy named Pots123. Maybe some of you will recognize this team. It got to #1 on the ladder multiple times. I think it was a very strong team a few months ago. I never really liked him much, to be honest. Never really one for me to use, but very strong team. I saw this guy win so many times with this. But anyway, this is the first I ever saw Banded Dragapult, and this set is pretty, actually, it's just pretty efficient. Banded Dragon Darts is very, very strong. This is something I usually run Adamant on this shit, just because I think it's just a little too weak. I've always felt that way about Dragapult. He's kind of weak, unless you go plus attack nature, but you make do. Again, Specs Dragapult Modest. I've used this team many times, one of my favorite ones. Choice Banded Zapdos, Dragapult Core. Specs Dragapult is really where I just consider to be the best one. I really don't rate the status spreading Hex version right now. There's a lot of Feeny in the metagame. It just doesn't make sense to me. Spreading Paralysis doesn't make sense to me either when Coco's around, because you're walled by that. If you're spreading Burn, okay. It's just like, I don't know. It's just, it doesn't seem like the mon to run. I think Specs is very, very good. Very, very easy to win with. I want you to really look at some of these teams and think like, damn, if I play well with Specs Shadow Ball, I really win. Look at this game versus the Pots123 team. Spadef Landorus with knockoff. But again, what else? Scarflele, everybody else dead. Everybody else getting Shadow Ball. This is Spadef, but it's Double Iron Bash, Earthquake Protect. It's not AV. It doesn't live forever. Plus, the shit has teammates. Look at this Insult Steel shit. This is a great team. I got number 10 or number 8 with this team a couple days ago. Fun team. Again, this team gets fucked up by Shadow Ball. Are you crazy? Yeah, it has Spadef Heatran with what? Magma Storm, Earth Power, Will-O-Wisp. The rest of this team is getting cooked by Spec Shadow. Like that thing is an enormous threat. It's a very easy mon to throw on a team. Very, very easy mon to throw on a team. I really recommend. I mean, who hasn't used Dragapult? But I will say this: just use Specs. I really don't use other sets. Just use Specs. I feel like you can just use Specs. I don't even run U-turn on Specs too much nowadays. Sometimes I have it, but that's more of like a novelty where you're like allowed to run it. Like this team I remember has it. This is a pretty cool team. But yeah, Specs Dragapult, it's very good at putting on the pressure. Think about how many mons Dragapult scares out. Think about how many mons it scares out. It scares out so many different things, right? Because it's, you always got to think like, oh shit, Specs Shadow Ball versus Specs Draco versus Specs Fire move. That's what everybody always assumes when you bring out your Dragapult. It's one of the best mons at forcing switches, which is why you can run such good partners with it offensively. Like that team had Specs Aegislash, it's also had a Magnezone, you know, to trap stuff like AV Melmetal with Iron Defense, Magnezone, get rid of that thing. One of the few things to take a Shadow Ball, etc. Like, and I mean, this thing can even run Surf and Hydro Pump to get rid of Tyranitar, which is what I consider to be one of the really good counters to this thing. But yeah, that's enough about those two. Dragapult is who I do consider to be the best mon in the metagame. That is what I actually consider to be the best. So I will say that Landorus, it could be S rank, but Pult's better. And for me, Pult is just a little bit better. And we did see also in I guess I can talk about this later, but we see this, the Dragapult has 25% usage, which is pretty damn interesting. A ladder makes it feel like a lot more. It definitely doesn't make it feel like Landorus is this much higher than everyone. And I'm playing on high ladder, right? I showed you I'm at 1900s. Like, I feel like this does not, like, reflect what I have been battling as much. The rest, sure, but I don't think Landorus has been that much high, but whatever. Maybe I'm just not that weak to Landorus, so it doesn't... Because I always bring Ice Punch Dragonite, that's why. So Landorus never feels like I'm playing it. But maybe me running fucking Ice Punch Dragonite on a Dragon type is a testament to how annoying Landorus is. Running Ice Punch for, like, 1 mon. But next we got Heatran. Oops. Next we got Heatran. Now, Heatran, I don't actually use him too much. If you look through my teams, you'll see like a distinct lack of Heatran. Like if you're looking through these right now, you're probably like, damn, he really is so talented, never using Heatran. No, I got the Sun team with Spectran. Obviously, you run Specs or Scarftran in the Sun. I got this team, Magma Storm Taunt, you know, a little bulkier Heatran. Otherwise, people run Taunt, Rocks, Taunt, Toxic, Magma Storm. You guys know what Heatran runs. Like, this is the Heatran set. Sometimes people run Balloon, which this one seems to be, which is cool. I mean, I actually really like Balloon. That can be a really annoying mon. It allows you to switch in against Heatrans, which is like why it's so cool. But yeah, definitely some of my older teams have a lot more Heatrans, but I'm not big on Heatran. Not that I think it's bad. I think it's fantastic. It's one of the best mons. I just personally have not been using it too much. But Heatran wise, I'll say this: Magma Storm is the best set, obviously, and then I think Specs is pretty good. I don't really use Scarf, so I can't really talk about it, but I feel like there's other Scarfers that are better. Like Cart and Lele to me are the best Scarfers ever. They're like fucking broken. Both of them are like broken as Scarfers. Lele's broken because of the support it brings by putting up terrain, and then also forcing all the switches. And then Cart obviously because Beast Boost is broken, and again it forces all the switches. I don't feel like a Scarf Heatran really forces switches like those two do. But I do think Specs is crazy because Eruption is really, really hard to switch into. Like if you have a Specs Eruption trend, like you can just stay in and kill Spidef Landorus type shit after rocks. Like it's very impressive. I think Specs Heatran is definitely good. But yeah, Magma Trapper is the best. Even with Landorus having this sky high usage, Heatran is still always going to be good. There's so many annoying mons still. Ferrothorn, Clefable, Corviknight, you know that's a new guy. Toxapex. We got new support bitches like Buzzwole, who everyone likes to use. I know I said Dragapol is very strong, but obviously a Spidef Heatran can tank, you know, 2 or 3 Shadow Balls maybe. Magma Storm, Toxic, get some chip on it. You guys have seen in my battles how a lot of times I'll trade Heatran to get like 70-80% off on Dragapol, and that'll be enough for me later on in the game because I'll be able to keep rocks up or something. Now and then, like, you can take a trade like that, but yeah, I mean, you guys know Heatran is the unkillable mon. It is the unkillable mon. Everybody has a story where their Heatran has beat like a Tapu Fini or even like a Volcanion one-on-one. Everybody has a story like that because Heatran is unkillable. It's an unkillable mon. Again, let me know in the comments below if you have a story where your Heatran beat something that he was not meant to beat. And you know he was not meant to beat it, but he beat it because he's an unkillable mon. Heatran really does give off those vibes sometimes, and it's like a very good blanket check to stuff like Zapdos, Coco, Tornadus. You can switch into Weavil's ice moves, or you can even take the knockoff the first time. It's just a really sound switch in. When everyone was running AV Slowking, maybe this one has Earthquake, because this is pretty weak to Heatran team. Yeah, so this one does have Earthquake, but when Slowkings weren't running Earthquake, Heatran was a fantastic switch. I mean, they literally run Earthquake just for Heatran. And in general, this thing's not a easy mon to switch in. There's a reason all of my Dragonites are Ice Punch EQ. It's because Landorus, Heatran are the most fucking annoying Pokemon ever. I mean, Ice Punch EQ is also perfect coverage. Like, this team loses to Ice Punch EQ pretty easily, as you can see. This team gets rocked by that coverage. Scarfini is not a counter to Dragonite. And I'll talk about Dragonite when we get there. This will be a long-ass video, probably. Just because there's so much to talk about. This metagame is fucking weird. But Heatran, yeah, Magma Storm is my favorite. Magma Storm rocks. I would just leave it at that. It does what it always does. Support mon. It's very deserving of an S- rank. Like I said, I think it's comparable to Landorus T. More than it is Dragapol. I do think Dragapol should be an S and Landorus here. Weavile an A. Now that's crazy. That's crazy. I don't understand that one personally. I'm gonna go through my Weavile teams. This is the worst set in my opinion. The knockoff low kick Ice Shard. It's so fire when low kick works, but then you get mad because you don't have an ice move to hit Clefable with. That's the other. You can never sweep versus Clefable, right? Because you're SD Ice Shard. But Weavile, yeah. So I have a couple teams with him. Most of them are SD. From the ones I've been given, I mean, it's a really good mon. That's for damn sure. Weavile, like we've talked about before, it always has its little time in the metagame, right? Where it is just like at the top. Everybody wants to use it. And even in the metagame where stuff like Urshifu is used on every team, there's still a lot of Ferrothorns, Clef, Pex, all that stuff. Nothing has changed. Nothing has changed for Weevil. It's still a big threat. It still checks the annoying shit it used to check. It still hits an incredible speed tier. Even with stuff like Coco and Dragapol and Zero Aura just naturally outspeeding, being able to deal with it, it's still a pretty damn good Pokemon. So you can see I have quite a few teams with it. This is my favorite set to run Weevil. Banded with Poison Jab. I think Poison Jab is sick. I guess the other option is Low Kick, but Poison Jab, this is my buddy Storm Zone's team. He passed me this. I believe he won with this in a tournament. Very cool team with Spec Zapdos. I'll use this in a video soon. I got really high up on the ladder with this, like 2,000. Crazy good team. But anyway, Poison Jab Weevil. I love this one because people don't really expect Poison Jab. Feeny is oftentimes a switch in, or Coco. You know, so I really like Poison Jab. That's really it. Like, it's just me showing you Banded. I mean, you guys know what Banded Weevil is, but Banded is nice because people really don't have a switch in for it. Melmetal, for example, can take almost 40%. Urshifu takes like 35% from knockoff. All these other guys obviously get fucked up by it. You look at these teams, and Banded is really, really tough for a lot of them. Buzzwole, I will say, is probably the best shit for Weevil, but you can always run into someone running SD Life Orb. See, I knew this team was SD Life Orb, which is why I clicked it. That's smooth. That's super smooth transition. I know you got to comment on that transition if it was smooth. Let me know. But yes, SD Life Orb, because this literally lets you KO Buzzwole after a little bit of chip. Like, it can get very strong, as you guys know, at Triple Axle. But on the flip side, you also are relying on Triple Axle doing the job for you. That being said, Weevil is a gigantic fucking threat. It's really hard to beat. That's for sure. It's always a threat unless you're running Buzzwole. That's really how I feel. I feel like if I don't have a Buzzwole, that thing's a threat. Because Melmetal's not a good switch in. I feel like people just play really bad with it, like all the time. I feel like people always click the wrong move. Not to say that I'm always picking the right move. I'm sure I fuck it up all the time too. But in that sense, it's kind of tough. There are offensive things that deal with it. Like I said though, like Coco, for example, can always take the Ice Shard. Same with Zero Aura. Scarf Cart, Scarf Lele, all that stuff. Doesn't take shit from Ice Shard. Just fucks that thing up. But if you look at the Mons in A rank, for example, you can see why I rate Weevil. It's able to kind of take on all of these guys. Corv is a pretty solid counter with the body press and the helmet, but again, the SD set can muscle through. Bandit can just play a good support. Obviously, Cooks, Garchomp, Slowking, Feeny. Again, you don't want these things getting knocked off. Pex is honestly a pretty good switch into it, but here's what I'll say about Weevil. It's a damn good Pokemon, but it shouldn't be in the S- rank. It's not that good. In my opinion. Yeah, I use it quite a bit. It's quite a good glue, solid mon, but that shit is not a S-. It's not a top 4 Pokemon. Like, that is so outlandish to even suggest that this thing is top 4 in my book. I don't believe it. If we go to the usage-based tier list, I guess this thing went from UU to OU. The only other interesting thing to me is that these guys went to UU, which is hella sad. Pelipper and Nidoking is sad. Nidoking is a good ass mon. Pelipper is pretty decent too, because Rain's good. I used a decent amount of Rain, so we'll talk about that when we talk about that. And Regieleki, I don't use him. But Mew is broken. We'll talk about that later. Scizor is ass. It's just used to like deal with Weevil and shit. But yeah, Weevil in my opinion should be an A+ rank. I don't consider it as good as these 3 at all, and I consider it to be on the same page as stuff like Corviknight and Coco and Urshifu. 100% I consider it to be the same level as those things. So yeah, so that's basically my judgment on the top of the line, like, of the mons. I know that was really long, but you guys knew this video had to be long, man. It has to be. I have to say the truth about everything. So let's keep moving. A+ rank Corviknight. You guys know I'm a big Corv fan. Big Corv fan. There's a lot of Corvs. So Corv I'm usually using is Spadef, Ruse Defog, Ironhead, U-Turn. It's basically the Corv I like to use. Where are my Corv teams? I use this team every now and then. Pussy ass, like, stall. But this is a sub bulk up Corv again, Spadef. I like Corv because he's one of the mons you can switch into Dragapol, and you can take the Spec Shadow Ball really easily. You take like 40%, so if you don't get Spadef drop, you can PP stall a little bit. A lot of sub bulk ups. This one's a bit more physically defensive, probably, I don't know, for cart and shit. Brave Bird, Roost, U-Turn, Defog. And then of course you guys know that there's a body press. I'm trying to find if I have an Iron Defense body press Corv. I don't know why I don't have a team with that. It's actually pretty crazy to me. I have this team, but this is bulk up Power Trip. That shit is garbage. I think that set is actually terrible, but whatever. It works for some people. But yeah, so Corviknight. So this Spadef set is my favorite. Iron Defense Body Press is also very, very good. This mon is just one of the most efficient at what it does. It's bulky on both sides. It's unkillable on both sides. I've had some really, really fun situations come up. Like I was on stream earlier, and I had a Specs 0 Aura, and I switched it in on Corviknight as he Iron Defensed. So then he thought he would be able to Body Press and kill me, and then I Specs T-Bolt, and I won a KO'd him, because obviously he couldn't predict that. So that was pretty funny. But it just goes to show like why you run lures like that. Iron Defense Corviknight is very annoying. It's able to take on a lot of things. Its switch-ins like Heatran, Ferrothorn, that kind of stuff, they get popped. Sub bulk up is still a good enough threat. It's very bulky. Pressure is a great ability. I love it. It's one of the best support mons. I find it extremely good at defogging stuff away. I find it extremely good at getting rid of PP, and it's just a great mon. It's honestly like a damn near perfect support mon in my opinion. One of my absolute favorites. I like it as much as I like something like Tornadus. That's for sure. I don't even like Tornadus like that, but sorry Tornadus. I don't know why I smoked Tornadus there, but yeah, I'm just looking at these teams like I don't really use Tornadus like that either, because it's not really my shit. I don't really like Tornadus. I don't think it's that good. But anyway, moving on to Garchomp. So Corviknight, final thing to say is, yeah, it's amazing. It's a great defogging mon. Definitely deserving of A+. It's at the top of that in my opinion. So we got Garchomp next. Now Garchomp, he's a classic. He's an absolute classic. Let's go over some Chomp teams. Here I have the SD Scale Shot, Earthquake, Stealth Rock, offensive Life Orbs. This is kind of crazy. Just some very, very offensive shit. Oftentimes you might see Fire Fang, Stone Edge, something like that over Stealth Rock. But this is a team I got that I thought looked kind of cool, so I was using it. Chomp, you guys got to be no stranger to how strong this thing is. Life Orb BQ is so strong. I like Life Orb BQ sometimes because it can do stuff like 1-hit KO Tyranitar, 1-hit KO Tapu Lele. It can KO like non-Fizdef Fini, even though they're all Fizdef, so it doesn't really matter. But Life Orb +2, you know, you can get past that Spadef, Landorus, shit like that. I think Chomp is an amazing sweeper. Even with everybody and their mom running Weevil, lots of Landoruses to intimidate, all that shit. Yeah, I think Chomp is like one of the goats of sweeping. I think the SD Scale Shot set is absolutely amazing. It's like one of my favorite sets to use. I use it a decent amount. Actually, I like SD Chomp in general, but yeah, I really do like Scale Shot. I had a time where I was using it a lot more, like a few weeks ago, like 3 or 4 weeks ago. But yeah, as you can see, this is like the set I said, Life Orb. It's really, really strong. Of course, you're playing around with Scale Shot luck, which is kind of annoying. But I don't know, man. Garchomp just hits very nicely. Like, look at this team, for example. Yes, there's a Weevil, but you can't switch Weevil in hard. And I don't know. I feel like the Chomp could be a gigantic giga threat to this shit. Like a super threat. Like, Chomp looks like a massive threat to this shit if it's Scale Shots. Yeah, you got Ice Shard on Weevil, but again, you have to keep sacking monster, bring that thing in. You see this team, Ghost Talk. Ghost Talk, this shit is strong. Anyway, you see this team, Chomp cooking this team. You crazy? SDing up, just killing everybody. You know, like if he's able to get off that Scale Shot. And I know it's tough to always sweep. It's not always so easy to just say like, oh, SD Scale Shot. I mean, you guys see it in my videos all the time. We're able to just go to the Fairy type on the Scale Shot, go to the other mon on the EQ, the SD. Sometimes they get it right and they cook us, but you got to get a lot of plays right. So it's not really in the Garchomp players. It's not really in their park. Other Garchomp I use literally just on this team. I have like this defensive but like also fast Garchomp. It's okay. It's kind of fun. I play against defensive Garchomp on the ladder a decent amount. I think it's pretty good. It's definitely hard to kill, passing out toxics and stuff. It's similar to Landorus. I think it's good if you have rest. Probably, yeah. I think rest Garchomp bulky is pretty good, but that's basically my thing on Garchomp. Garchomp is really, really good. I put it also very high up in that Corviknight tier of like the top of this shit. Next, we have Slowking. Now, if you asked me a couple weeks ago what I thought about Slowking, the king, I tell you that shit is like so good. This is back when everybody was like, oh my god, put Slowking on every team. Did you know it can wall every single mon in the metagame? Oh my god, Shadow Ball from Dragapol is 40%. Oh my god, this is like that period where everybody was using Slowking, and I was like, stop using fucking Slowking. Like I did a video with Joey, and his Slowking killed like 8 of my mons. I was like, what is this shit? It was when we played like 24 versus 24. And I was like, dude, what is this mon? How do you beat this? That was like my first time I got Slowking pilled. And I was like, wow, this shit is fucking broken. But anyway, now, I'm not as hyped. I'm not as hyped on him as I was. He's still fantastic. You look at a lot of the teams and they still lack the coverage. Look at a team like this. Sludge Bomb cooking everybody here. Ice Beam for this. Flamethrower for this. Okay, it's damn annoying. Look at a team like this. Same shit. Sludge Bomb, Future Sight, Ice Beam. It's damn annoying. You know. Look at a team like this. Exactly. Future Sight, Flamethrower, Psychic. It's damn annoying. It's damn annoying for every team. Even this team, one of my best teams. Slowking is damn annoying for this. You crazy? I guess if you trick it with Clef, that'd be pretty gas. But then you get tricked in AV, so that'd be terrible. But yeah, Slowking, that shit looks like a big ass threat to this team. Annoying as hell. It's just one of those mons that's very hard to kill and just possesses that perfect coverage. That being said, there are still mons that wall the thing. Heatran walls it if you don't have Earthquake, and then Corviknight walls it regardless of what you have, because Corviknight is so bulky. So that is my only problem with it. I mean, I still think it's an amazing mon, in the sense that, like, dude, if you can't kill it, you better have something to switch into it. And all the normal pivots get owned, like Toxapex. I also think that what's it called? The core of Future Sight Slowking and Future Sight Slowbro plus Urshifu is so cheap and annoying to play against. Oh my god, that shit is so cheap. Because you Future Sight and then they have to bring in their resist, which automatically dies to Urshifu. And then if they have a counter to Urshifu, it's gonna die to Future Sight. And it's like, what kind of cheap shit is this? But yeah, Slowking. Only set I have to talk about here is Assault Vest. Obviously, I don't use other sets. I don't think there are other sets. This is a team I have with Max Spadef, Slowking, and then I believe I have a team like this one where it's more physically defensive. This one, I wouldn't knock it till you try it. Physically defensive Slowking is actually quite nice. Even with the AV, it's able to stay pretty well rounded. This guy is able to switch into Kartana hella easily. I actually won a game because I lived +2 Smart Strike like it was nothing. You live every Earthquake under the sun, obviously, with 255 defense. You crazy? So yeah, this thing is really nice. And you still obviously destroy shit like Feeny, Calm Mind Feeny, whatever the case is. You just take Psychics a little bit worse, but yeah, this is a good set. AV Slowking, so you always gotta have Future Sight. You always gotta have Sludge Bomb. Personally, I always need Ice Beam. I mean, you guys saw Landorus' major usage. Also, I like Ice Beam because it snipes Dragapol, which is really nice. A lot of times Dragapult will stay into Shadow Ball. You can get the chip. You can go from there. So we got Future Sight, Sludge Bomb, Ice Beam. And then last, you're either going to put Flamethrower or Earthquake. Personally, I like Flamethrower. Even if Heatran does seem to have more usage, I just feel like I don't want Ferrothorn coming in and doing all that stuff. I'd rather be able to Flamethrower. Flamethrower also lets you hit Melmetal, which I consider to be really annoying. And it also lets you hit Corviknight, so at least that thing is forced to roost rather than wall you, remove your hazards, all that stuff. So Slowking is one of the best mons in the meta. I know I was shitting on in the beginning saying, oh, I thought he was the GOAT, but it's still one of the best. A+ is definitely where he belongs. It's just a very annoying mon to deal with. Future Sight is Future Sight. It's like an incredible hack that they gave to all these Pokemon, and he's deserving of being in this. Feeny A+. Feeny, another mon that I spam like a complete scrub. Look at this, 3 Feenies in a row. Like, I got no skill on this bitch. And they're all Scarf. They're all Scarf. Every Feeny I use is Scarf. It don't matter who made the team. They know they should only give me teams with Scarf Feeny. I'm showing you this just to prove it to you that, like, oh my god, like, this man is a sicko. All he uses is Scarf Feeny. So you're probably thinking, bro, what the hell is this? Like stop it. Stop using Scarf Feeny. Like, what? Here's why I use Scarf Feeny. The first guy I ever saw use Scarf Feeny was on, well, no, Scarf Feeny was used in Gen 7, but in Gen 8, I played some guy on the ladder, and he used it, and then I started using it, and then that was it. I forgot what his name was. Fuck. But he beat me with it, and it was like, oh, that Gen 7 relic. Anyway, it was like a year ago. Anyway, Feeny, Scarf, it's a beautiful set. It's just beautiful. Trick lets you pretty much cripple anything. Feeny is amazing with all the stupid threats in the metagame. I mean, dude, look at everything who's at the top. Landorus, Surf. Dragapol, Moonblast. Heatran, Surf. Weevil, Moonblast. Garchomp, Moonblast. Like, it's Urshifu, Moonblast. Like, Feeny's doing what he always does, bro. He cooks on those top threats. He's able to eat their hit up. Now, the reason I like Scarf is because everybody runs very offensive teams. And I find that his coverage is pretty damn good. The only problem I'd say I run into with Scarf Feeny is when I run into AV Melmetal, because that bitch is unkillable. But even with enough Surfs, you're good. Look at this Lost Prophets team. This shit could be weak to Scarf Feeny. I mean, it could be weak to Calm Mind Feeny too. Calm Mind is very good too. I'll show you some teams like that, which I actually do have. Is this one Scarf? Yo, what the fuck? Why are they all Scarf? I know I just said they're all Scarf, but Jesus. Come on, man. This is Calm Mind. Yes, sir. So this is Calm Mind Taunt Draining Kiss. You guys have seen this set, obviously. This is one of my absolute favorite sets, too. It's just very good at what it does. Very hard to kill. Cock blocks the Toxapex, Corviknight, bulkier teams. This shit can basically cook stall under the correct circumstances. You guys know the situation. You knock off the Clefable to get rid of the lefties, stuff like that. Then, you know, Fini can muscle through it. You know, Fini very often times can, you know, just get rid of stall. It's really good versus these sand teams. You know, Excadrill, T-Tar, Hippo. I mean, a lot of them have Ferrothorn, I guess, but you can taunt that. But yeah, those things it's able to take a hit from. Extremely, stupidly, intensely bulky with 252 plus bolt. I don't gotta explain it. 361 defense, 343 HP is very, very high. Like, it's very bulky. It's just a really sturdy mon in general. It also is able to tank the hits from Weevil forever. Like, Weevil's never able to take that guy out unless it's SD Life Orb or it is Poison Jab, which I think is really, really nice. Fini is a really great defogger too with the Scarf set. The reason I don't run the normal like super defensive taunt defog is because it just doesn't do anything for me. What do you do? You defog and then what? You taunt Toxapex and then it's just still not gonna switch. Same thing with every other mon. At least Taunt Calm Mind puts on the ability to sweep, so it's kind of a threat. And then Scarf is scary versus offensive Pokemon, and then you can also trick a defensive mon. But yes, highly recommend running both of those Finis. Fini is an amazing mon, one of the best. Again, very deserving of A+. So far I really have no qualms with A+, and I will be ranking these. Like, I will be putting these all in order afterwards, these 8 guys in the A+, just to say like my order personally. But Coco is next. So we use a lot of Coco. We use a lot of Specs Coco with this set. We use a lot of I wish there was an easier way to like categorize shit. Oh wait, you can you just do that? Oh, this is insane. Yeah, Showdown is the GOAT. Showdown is the GOAT. You can just type, yeah, Showdown is the GOAT. What the fuck? So these are my Coco teams, it looks like. Showdown, I love you for letting me do this. I use a whole lot of Specs. I use Specs U-Turn quite a bit. This one is Terrain Extender, the Blastoise. That's kind of a meme team. This one is the most used set. The T-Bolt, U-Turn, Dazzling Gleam, Roost, Heavy Duty Boots. This is basically what everybody uses on Coco if you're not using Specs, and for good reason. It's just a very, very good mon. Coco's actually kind of hard to kill in one hit at full HP. It's pretty bulky, and its speed is nice too. It lets you outspeed stuff like Weavile, Latios, you know, Kartana, Lele, all that type of shit, Tornadus. And in general, it can be a big threat. Like, if you look at some of my teams, for example, well, first of all, Ferrothorn is like the best counter to that shit. Although this set is knockoff Leech Seed Press, but unless it's Calm Mind Coco, you basically, yeah, this one's Calm Mind, by the way. But if I played a Calm Mind Coco with this team, I'd be fine, because I have Spadef Landorus, which will always blow that thing up. Coco I love, even with the amount of Spadef Landorus I use, I still use Coco a lot, which should just show you how much I believe in Coco regardless. It's just a very, very sturdy mon. It's really just a nice, easy mon to use. The fact that it has Volt Switch and U-Turn means that you can gain so much momentum in your battle every time. Every single team is going to have one of Corviknight, Pex, Tornadus. Like, it's just always going to happen, right? So you're able to use the initiative to bring in your own threats, that kind of thing. Coco pairs very nicely. My friend Devin actually showed me a very cool core. Tapu Koko plus Thunder Punch Buzzwole. And he said it basically cooks all stall teams. And I was like, oh, that's a good point, because Thunder Punch in the terrain lets you kill Pex. And then, you know, you can run your leftover Poison Jab coverage for Clefable and stuff like that. You know, you don't have to run Earthquake, which you run for Toxapex. You can run Thunder Punch. You can also nuke Tornadus with that in the terrain. It seemed like a very cool combo. But yeah, Coco putting up the terrain is really, really good. It always has been. You know, it gives its teammates much needed, whatever, support. That's what you need. I mean, shit, man. We've played Raichu teams before, thanks to Coco, right? I got terrain teams with Coco. Like, Coco is a very solid, sturdy mon. It still does have the same problems it used to have. Ferrothorn, Landorus, all that shit walls you for 80 years, front and back, nothing you can do about it. But I do find Specs and Heavy Duty Boots to be very good, and I do find it very easy to keep Coco around until like the later stages of a game. I do think AV Slowking is the biggest counter to this thing, and the best counter. I always find it very, very difficult to win with my Coco when I'm playing against AV Slowking. Always. It's very, very difficult. But other than that, I rate him pretty highly. But I don't rate him as high as these four. Tornadus. I don't rate Tornadus as high as any of these shits. It's not a... I mean, you can say I don't really run Tornadus. The only Tornadus team I use is this one. I don't run this team really. I have teams like this, but I don't use this one. This is the only Tornadus team I use, and I actually use this team a good amount. It's very fun, and the Tornadus is actually really good on this team. I don't know. It's just not the mon for me. Personally, it's not one. Maybe I'll, oh, another thing I want to say. If you've been watching so far, I know this is so fucking long. Thank you. Send me teams to my Smoke on Wall. Good OU teams. Something cool, hopefully, but, I mean, yeah. I always be there at the top. Just send me whatever. Just have that shit be good. I like using new teams. Just hopefully something fun. And when I mean fun, I don't mean something garbage like wishy-washy. I mean, like, some new shit, like a Moltres or something. Or like a, I don't know, like Expert Belt Buzzwo under electric terrain like I was just talking about. But anyway, back to what I was talking about. Sorry. Tornadus defensive. Yeah, it's good at what it does. It checks cart. It checks stuff like defensively, defog, obviously Bones, Landorus. But I don't think it's that good. I think it's really, really overrated. I think it still gets fucked up by Double Iron Bash, Psychic, Magma Storm, like every attack in the game. Spec Shadow Ball still fucks that thing up. Honestly, AV is okay because at least AV is a little bit bulky. This team, I just want to go over the Torn on it because this is a pretty solid team. I just don't use it. Icy Wind knockoff U-turn, so you can see the support option they're using. I don't know why Icy Wind on Torn on this team. I never asked what that was for. I mean, obviously it's for Landorus and Garchomp, but I don't know why. It's not like those are threats to this team, in my opinion. Garchomp? Still don't really. I don't really know. Either way, who cares? Maybe it's to slow down something. Maybe it's to slow down Dragonite. Oh, maybe Dragonite. Maybe. I don't know. Whatever. But the point is, again, a bulkier Tornadus just meant to defog. I don't really use Nasty Plot. Nasty Plot's not bad though. Nasty Plot's actually not bad. I think Nasty Plot definitely has a lot of potential. People don't prepare for that shit at all. I know I don't. A lot of times I just go hard into my like Toxapex. I've had this happen a lot. I go hard into Toxapex or Corviknight on Torn and they Nasty Plot up and then +2 a Hurricane or Heat Wave, one hit KOs the Pex or Corv because it's Life Orb. And then I'm like, oh, I lost. Like my Scarf first, like Kartana, I lost. Like there's nothing I can do. Like I've had that situation happen. Look at a lot of these bulkier teams. Look at this Coronavirus team. This shit gets fucking super 6-0'd by Taunt, Nasty Plot, Hurricane, Tornadus. Super 8-12'd, bro. Like what? It's you gotta really be careful. You gotta really be careful. Against that set particularly. I feel like people don't respect that set. It's not used too much, but I would say that with Torn. Try out Nasty Plot, Hurricane, Life Orb. I will say this, if you use that set, you're an asshole because that set has Hurricane on it as the main form of attacking. What kind of asshole runs that and then just assumes they'll hit? That being said, Torn is the lowest one I rank on these guys. Pex, next. Yeah. Oh, that rhymes. Pretty clever. Yeah, Pex is amazing. I use that shit now and then. Only on this... Wait, why am I doing this? I can just... Yeah, so I mainly use it on this Reuni Sand. I only otherwise use this SD Weevil team. And then you can see the rest of these teams are so damn old. I got shit like Pheromosa. And... Ooh, look at this Slowking Stall. Damn, I should have been using this more. This is a real man's team. This is a real agency boss team. What the fuck? Goat team. Eerie Spell Slowking. Did you see that? But whatever. Back to the point. Oh, we got Toxapex here. So Recover Skull, knockoff Haze. You'll always see me running Toxapex with Haze. I will never not run Haze. You need to run Haze. Don't run it without Haze. You'll lose running it without Haze. That's all I'm going to tell you. You will always lose if you run Toxapex without Haze. I ran it in one tournament battle and I lost to it Swords Dance Scizor even though I burned it. Can you imagine how stupid that is? Can you imagine how stupid that is to have a Toxapex and lose to a Scizor you burned because you don't have Haze? Bro. It was like 5 years ago. So bad. I was like, no, not 5. Pex wasn't even alive back then. 4 years ago? 2017? Yeah, 2017. God, it was so terrible. I'm telling you, it was so terrible. I was like, how is this real? How is this real? Do my eyes deceive me? I thought my eyes were fake for a second. I couldn't believe myself. But no, I'm joking. Haze, but I'm telling you, you need to run Haze on this shit. You always need to run Haze on this thing. Just run it, dude. You're always going to get swept by everything. Why would you run this without Haze? What would you run over it? Toxic? No, wrong. Wrong. You need Haze on Toxapex. It's always going to be good as a panic check to stuff like Weevil, Dragonite, Volcarona, whatever the case is. You need that shit to Haze. You always need to Haze. Always run Haze. I'm telling you. Never don't run Haze. Other than that, your options are Toxic Spikes or Toxic over one of these. Sometimes people run Poison Jab for Clef, I think. I think that's actually pretty good. But I haven't found a team where it fits for me. I like this Scarf Bulu team. It's actually pretty bad, but this is just, again, another take on Pex running Shed Shell. I run Pex on both sides of the defensive spectrum, Fizdef and Spadef. Both work out pretty nicely for me, honestly. I haven't had a problem with either. As you guys know, Pex with even minimal Fizdef investment is able to take an Earthquake from anything, barring like a Life Orb, Landorus, Garchomp, Excadrill. And then on the Spadef side, you can take like even fucking Specs Lele. So you guys understand like how bulky this mon is. Yeah, it's really good. You just run knockoff Scald. You run the same shit it used to run. The reason it's in A+ and not at the very top is because mons have figured out a way to get around it. There's a lot of recovery options and a lot of stuff like Coco, Curum. They can fuck with it, you know? And also stuff like Specs Dragapol can pressure it pretty well as well. Like, it's not like this thing is a perfect switching. So yeah, Pex is just Pex. I don't really have much to say about it. It's obviously deserving of being this high. It's one of the best. It just continuously does its support nonsense, and it does a damn good job of it too. In terms of like poison types, I don't feel like it takes the spot from Slowking or anything like that either. I feel like those two coexist pretty well. I feel like even you can run those two on the same team. It really doesn't matter. But this thing is like the best counter to Urshifu there is, who is coincidentally the next mon and who I consider to be one of the best mons. So let's hop right into that Urshifu. Now this is a guy I run a lot of. Look at this. You can see that I to Urshifu when I was running Pangoro. Very clever. So I would say these are the 3 Urshifu teams I actually use. Again, big creds to my boy Storms for passing me these fun teams. But every time I use Urshifu, it's choice banded, as you can see. Every single time I use it, it's choice banded. I think it's Scarf here. That's okay. It's not really that good. So all I can say is banded Urshifu, because that's the only one I use. I don't think other sets are really worth using besides protective pads. I do actually like protective pads, because so many things do spam helmet, like Pex and Ferrothorn. My only flip side with it is that I think it's easy to bait those mons in with knockoff to begin with, so I don't know, pads isn't for me. But it's definitely a good option. Like, I understand why it's good, and I've used it before and I was like, oh, this is fire. But banded sheer power is like exactly why I love banded. Like, you can just CC and just blow through everything. Like, Corviknight gets 2-hit KO'd. After Rocks, Feeney's getting 3-hit KO'd. Pex, you know, you have Thunder Punch for it. I personally run Thunder Punch just to hit the Pex or the Feeney the first time and then come back the second time. You guys have seen it in so many battles. I actually had a battle where I like completely cooked this guy with the actually, let me find that battle. I want to show you how powerful this Urshifu shit was. Alright, bet, so we got this battle. I'm JJ or whatever. And this guy, he has like the exact same team as me. As you can see, we literally have like the same build for the most part. But you can see how he has traditional Urshifu checks, right? He has a Feeney, he has a Dragonite, he has the checks for it, right? The rest of the guys are decently weak to it, but it's nothing that he can't deal with. So I lead off with it because I figured he'd lead off with this or Landorus. Turn 1, I know I have the odds to just hit the Feeney. So I Thunder Punch there, and right off the bat, this thing is basically already in range. Now, I know I made an aggressive play going for that. However, I could have close combated it, and it honestly would have been like the exact same situation. Literally, after that happens, he's just screwed. Because I Stealth Rock here, he Toxics me, he defogs, you turn out into my guy, I Surging Strikes, I get my first chip on Dragonite. Again, he can't do nothing about it. He knows at this point Feeney's 2-hit KO'd. This thing's already down to 59%. I go into Landorus as he doubles into Magnezone. You turn out into this. I'm Specs Dragonite, which is why I went into that. Sorry, just bring this guy in, live the +2 attack. I don't really gotta do anything. Close combat, Feeney comes in, sack this, Dragonite comes again. At this point, not even banded anymore. A Surging Strikes, I switch out here just in case he's E-Speed, and he actually did end up being E-Speed, but again, I'm able to go right back into Urshifu, and at that point, I just basically kill every mon. Like, I just kill every mon with this thing. And that's it. That's basically what I was trying to show you. Like, even a team like this, which has the tools for it, it can get easily broken down. And I feel like you will feel like that with almost every team you play. Barring having a Toxic Specs, you'll be like, fuck, how did Urshifu break this down? Look at a lot of these teams I'm using. Scarf Latios, for example. This team gets fucked up, you know? I mean, Clef's actually a pretty damn good counter, but because it has Helmet. But say Clef didn't have Helmet, for example. Surging Strikes would have cleaned this up. Helmet is always people's pick for dealing with Urshifu or Ferrothorn, which I understand, which is also why you can understand why protective pads is such a loved set. But yeah, you look through these teams, Urshifu is a very, very dirty mon. It is very hard to beat with the Banded. Like I said, Helmet is definitely a good way of stopping Band, I gotta say. Especially looking at how many mons I have with Helmet. I kind of understand why I was running it so much. But yeah, the point is Banded is just very hard to beat. I like Aqua Jet a lot too because you're able to hit Volcarona. But I don't know, Thunder Punch is nice. As you can see from that battle, it's nice. I like being able to one-hit KO Pelipper too. I think it's pretty nice. But Aqua Jet, you'll miss Aqua Jet when that Volcarona 6-0's your ass. Or the Weevil, or whatever you need it for. That's how Urshifu works. But yeah, Urshifu, just use Banded. It's very, very good. It's very, very good. Yeah. So A+ rank. Now that it's been like what, an hour so far? God, I'm insane. Let me rank these mons top to bottom. So the best one from all of these guys is it's Urshifu, then it's Slowking, then it's Feeny, Chomp. No, sorry. It's Urshifu, then it's Feeny, then Slowking, Garchomp, and Corviknight are all tied. And so is Pex. No, that's not fair. That's not fair. I'm very sorry. Let me restart. That's very sloppy. Urshifu is the best out of all of these guys. Okay, that is a fact. He's the best. Then it's a tie between Feeny and Corviknight. Then it's Pex. Then it's Garchomp. Then it's Slowking, then it's Coco, then it's Tornadus. That's how I see it. Alright, let's move on. A rank. So that's basically, you got my taste of basically all the best mons in the metagame, how I feel about all of them. I basically like all of them except for like Torn. The rest are pretty solid. Now let's get to A rank, where we see a little more fun creative Pokemon, a little bit more, something more exciting to talk about. So we got Arctozolt. Now everybody and their mom is using Arctozolt. I don't know if you guys have seen it, but there's this Hail team with Arctozolt that just everybody is running. This isn't a cool Italian team. One of my Italian friends on Smogon gave me this team. It was my first time I used Arctozolt, and it was a really good team in my opinion. But here's the team that everybody runs, right? It's Arctozolt, and I believe the user Ox the Fox made this team, so credits to him. Tornadus, Landorus, the Steamer, what's his name? Volcanion. What is the dude's last? It's gotta be a Steel, right? The hell else would it be? What the hell else would it be if not a Steel? It's Corv? Yeah, it's this. I'm pretty sure. It's this. Anyway, I'm pretty sure it's this. Yeah, wait, where's my team? I thought I just made this shit. Hey, okay, cool. So this is the most spammed Hail team, and if you play it on the ladder, you've played this team by now. I actually think it's quite a strong team. Arctozolt is a very hit or miss mon for me. Sometimes it's the biggest threat ever, but I feel like at this point I've just ran so much Ferrothorn and shit that like I know exactly what I need to do versus Arctozolt. You just need to keep one mon healthy. I'm not a big fan of Ninetales either, nor do I really like Hail builds. I do like this Hail build. This guy's, it's Specs, Volcanion, and AV Torn, which are pretty interesting. But yeah, I don't think it's AV. I don't think it's Aurora Veil Ninetales. I think it's like Nasty Potters, maybe. I don't know. I don't think it's Aurora Veil though. Maybe it is. I'm sorry if I'm getting it wrong, but yeah, Arctozolt basically just used because it's coverage, Bolt Beam, and then Low Kick or Earthquake is the last. Usually let you chop through most teams. You look at my teams and you can basically be like, oh wow, this thing is a big threat. And it is. Don't get me wrong. That thing is a giant threat. It runs Draco Meteor too. Oh wait, no, that's Dracozolt. Sorry. Arctozolt, sorry. This is the one that obliterates Landorus, my bad. This is the one that doesn't need to run Draco or fire moves. But yeah, Blizzard, Bolt Beak, Low Kick, Earthquake, that's basically enough to just cover through. And you look at these teams and it's like, damn, this thing is a big threat. Like, yeah, I'm pretty weak to Hail. All things considered, it's pretty tough. That mon's annoying. The only way to really beat Arctozolt is to always keep your one mon that tanks the hit in the back. Faster Scarfers exist too. It's extremely slow. It hits 229 with Jolly, so 458 under the Hail. It's dog shit speed. Slower than Scarflele, and so obviously it's slower than stuff like Cart and all that stuff. It's very slow. I think he's even slower than Scarflanders. He's trash. He's super slow, which is one of my vices with him. He's just slow. He's slow as fuck. Like, it's he's very weak too, except for that Bolt Peak. That Bolt Peak comes in tough. But yeah, if he doesn't kill something, he's in a bad situation. Outsped by a lot of Scarfers, tanked by Ferrothorn and Melmetal. But on the flip side, good mon for Hail, and it basically legitimizes Hail as a playstyle. Why would you run Hail and not use this? So we can go over the usage stats real quick too, but there's nothing really to share here. I think it's interesting how Rillaboom, what the fuck, Rillaboom is here in A-, but it has 7th highest usage. I think that's really interesting. So I mean, I guess we'll look at those discrepancies later on, but yeah. Okay, so next we got Cartwright. Next we got Clef, right? So now Clef has been pushed down to A rank from when it used to be an S rank. That's pretty incredible to me. I definitely welcome it happily. I don't like Clef running a metagame. I don't also like Landorus running a metagame, but you can say I don't really run Clef too much. I only really use it on the Scarf Latios team where it's Helmet, where Rocks knock off Moonblast, and then I run a team with Trick Barb. Where is that one? Where's my Trick Barb Clef? Did I delete that team? Oh, don't tell me I fucking deleted that team. No. Where's my Trick Barb Clef team? No. Where is it? I must find it for you people. Where's the Trick Barb Clef team? Oh, this one. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Trick Barb Clef. So this team is also really great. This Clefable set, I love it. You trick the Sticky Barb onto it. Pex, Heatran, Ferrothorn, whoever. They want to be cheeky and think they're bringing in the counter to you. No, then you trick them and they lose. If you've ever used this set, you know how good it feels to trick something like Toxapex or Heatran, that Barb, and knowing that they're on a timer and they're going to lose. This team is especially genius in my opinion because if you trick the Toxapex, then the Urshifu will fucking kill everything. If you trick the Heatran, your Scarf Gengar is going to win in the end too. I think this is a really, really amazing team. Shout outs to Eclipse for this. One of my favorite ladder teams. But yeah, the combination with Urshifu is very cool. I don't run Calm Mind Clef, so I can't really speak on it. It's not something that I'd use. It's good though. I've lost to it, obviously. I think you always want to run Thunderbolt or Flamethrower, but I think you want Thunderbolt for Pex. Personally, you want Thunder or some shit, because Thunder you can get past Melmetal with Thunder anyway. So just run Thunder. I mean, Fire Move is good on Life Orb sets. If you want to like run like a Life Orb 3 attack Clefable, which is something I thought about running recently. Life Orb 3 attack with Fire Blast, Thunderbolt. That thing is actually kind of a big threat because people don't expect their Melmetal or Ferrothorn to just get 1 KO'd. So that's something you could run. But yeah, Clef is just solid. It's good to see it in A rank though, and not at the very top. People have realized that a lot of these offensive mons can cook it. If you're running a Fizz-Def set, Specs Dragapol can smash it. Slowking kills it. Coco can pressure, or Shifu can pressure if it's not Helmet. It's just the same shit. Like, people use this thing to pivot into stuff, but it's not as good as it once was, right? Back in the day, like, you didn't even have to go into Clef every time on Latios' psychic move, because you could just run a Tyranitar to Pursuit. You can't Pursuit all the threats now and be cheap like that. You can't have no skill, you know? So Clef has gone down to A rank, because that mon is for people with no skill. So that's why it's gone down to A rank very nicely. Ferrothorn in A rank too. This is one I don't agree with. I think Ferrothorn should have been like A+, if not like even S. I think Ferrothorn's like the fucking GOAT. It walls like everything in my opinion. Walls like Torn if it's not Heat Wave. Walls Landorus, it beats Corv, it beats like everybody, dude. Like it beats Melmetal, it's not banded. It beats Scarf Lele. It's very bulky. I run Shed Shell a decent amount actually, because it lets you beat Magnezone. You can see this one is that. Stealth Rock, Leech Seed, knockoff, Body Press. Very nice set. Yeah, this is basically Spike's Leech Seed, knockoff, Iron Hit. You always want to run knockoff because you need a way to hit the other Ferrothorn. Body Press is, again, also very, very perfect because it lets you check Bisharp. I think any team that's weak to Bisharp, put Body Press on Ferrothorn. It's a very quick fix. This is a sub-Iron Defense Body Press. I use that soon. That's insane. That's the one that got me to top 20 on the ladder. That's crazy. Not Leech Seed, knockoff, Body Press, Stealth Rock. Yeah, Body Press is just nice for hitting the Ferrothorn, Heatrans, all that stuff. Pressuring Corv as it roosts. But yeah, my own take on Ferrothorn is that it's one of the best mods in the meta. Free. Like, it's incredibly good. It's very consistent at what it does. I don't understand why everybody doesn't run it. Every time I play it, it's a gigantic threat. You see all these electric types. Well, Ferrothorn fucking kills all of them. Weevil, it kills that thing too. It just beats like so much. It still beats so much. I understand people like Magnezone, but like, it's not really that great of a check to Ferrothorn. Like that Iron Defense shit is not that good. It's like it works most of the time, but it's not guaranteed. But yeah, that being said, Ferrothorn is one I don't agree with, and my own personal Ferrothorn usage is actually quite high. Like you looking at my teams, I know you're like, what the fuck? He has so many Ferrothorn teams. If you really look, yeah, and I know I have so many because it's a fantastic mon. It's like one of my favorites. So that's where I'm at with that. Kartana, the other Grass Steel mon. Yeah, I think that guy should have been an A+ or S-. I have no idea what he's doing in A. when he's absolutely as good as all of these mons in A+. Dude, Cart's fucking amazing. Like what? It's like one of the best mons ever. So Scarf, Banded, Life Orb, sets I've used. Banded is this. Scarf is the exact same set. You run Aerial Ace for Buzzwole, which is actually pretty cool, but I don't really run it. This is a Life Orb SD set I had on Webs. And then this one is also Banded with Aerial Ace. Cool. But yeah, so Banded or Scarf card is the way to go. Dude, there's nothing to really say about this shit. Like, who doesn't know what this does? It's become even easier now that Magnezones don't HP Fire. They go for stupid Body Press, so you can't get O-Code by it anyway. Knockoff continues to do what it always does, man. It just chips everything. It knocks off everything's leftovers, helmet, etc. Banded is my personal favorite, just because you knock off the core if you do like 40%. You know, you start pressuring that thing. SD is still very, very good, because nobody goes into their offensive Fastermon hard on Cart. They go into their core over Pex first. If you SD, well, then they're screwed. So I really like Cart. I would definitely have put him in A+, and he would have been at the higher end of my A+. I find him at the same point as mons like Garchomp in terms of offensive potential. Scares out stuff like Clef. It's just a good mon. So it's also like an incredibly good Scarfer. It's like the best Scarfer ever. So yeah. Not feeling that. Okay. Kyurem in A rank. Kyurem again should have been an A+. It's like better than half the shit here. Kyurem is just fucking annoying, dude. It's just annoying. What else is there to say? Just run Specs. Just run Specs or Scarf. You don't even need to run other stuff. People run defensive sometimes on those stall teams, and that's actually not a bad set at all. But yeah, your life is basically made if you run Specs Kyurem or Scarf Kyurem. It's always going to put in work. Specs Kyurem is literally fucking broken. Like, I don't even know what you're supposed to do versus that shit unless you're running offense. If you're running bulky, oh, you're going to get blown away. Like, some teams I have nowadays, like, destroy it because I run cheater shit like Snorlax or Azumarill and hope they don't freeze dry. LOL. But yeah, freeze dry is obviously why that thing is so good. Earth power as well, the ice ground coverage, you guys should be no stranger to that. That's why Mamoswine is so good. Shit is just strong. It's just one of those mons that like kills everything. It's really the best way to describe it. Ice type coverage has always been that kind of thing. That being said, I understand why it's here in the A rank and not at A+ or S, because that thing obviously has its own issues. I do like Boots for its bulk. I do think that thing is very hard to deal with still. But Specs is definitely my favorite. I think everybody should just run Specs. Specs and Scarf. I do rate Scarf pretty highly because a lot of people will just not have a good counterplay to Scarf with their offensive mons. It can turn the tables on offense really quick because Kyurem is really, really strong even with a Scarf. But Kyurem, I kind of understand why it's in A now that I think about its problems. Its typing also sucks ass, so we'll let it stay in A. Let me look at these guys, see if they have. See, Kartana 13% usage, pretty high. Ferrothorn 60%. What is a guy like Kyurem? What's his usage? 20th, 10%, pretty good. Tell me 10% of games of Kyurem, insane. Magnezone is a mon that I agree is an A rank. I flip-flop on this mon recently. I only use Body Press, Iron Defense. I don't really use other sets. And, I mean, everybody's used Magnezone. Like, it's just a classic mon, guys. You Iron Defense, you Body Press, you trap your Melmetal, Ferrothorn, or whatever, and then you hope to do just a little bit more before you go. And hopefully you trap a Corviknight, you do something, you hope. That's literally what it is. And then you hope your Dragonite or your Weevil or your Garchomp or your other whoever in the back, Excadrill, will win the game. That is the whole point of Magnezone. He's been doing his job for years this way, and it stays the same. It's easier now because everybody runs Corviknight, even though Corviknight can body press the thing. The most scary thing you can play against as a Magnezone is a fast Corviknight, because then you're going to automatically realize you lost that matchup because you won't be able to trap the Corviknight, so you just lost. But yeah, Mag is good at trapping steals, does what it's always done. I like running this physically defensively bulky set. I do like, utilizing the bulk in Pokemon quite a bit. I find that very fun. Like that are offensive, so Magnezone, we'll keep him in A. It's a solid, strong mon, good support. I have quite a few teams that you can see they follow like a pretty similar framework. A lot of Dragonites, a lot of I don't even know what this team is. Forgot if I used. Oh, I definitely used it. But yeah, it's like some strong shit. You know what I mean? It's just strong shit. Specs Kyurem, Scarfini, the Trinity. Assault Vest Magnezone that time though. But yeah, Miracle Assault Vest Zone is also not too bad. Everyone spamming Lele's and shit like that. Specs Shadow Ball from Dragapol, eat that up. Miracle, something cool. Melmetal next. Melmetal in A is pretty crazy to me. That guy should be an A+. That guy should be an A+. He's better than a half of these dudes. Melmetal is an incredibly good Pokemon. I don't understand why it's an A. I think it's one of the best support mons ever. I think it's one of the best offensive mons ever. I only run Assault Vest. I don't even run Banded like that because Assault Vest is so fucking good. You look at all these sets, now you're like, oh my god, he wasn't lying. They're all Assault Vest. Yes, they're all Assault Vest. Literally, they're all Assault Vest. Because you know what? That set just does what I need it to do, man. It does what I need it to do. I'm sorry. Obviously, I have teams with Banded. Where is the team? Here's a team with Banded. Banded again, fantastic. But in this metagame with all the helmet, stupid shit like Buzzwole, Skarmories, even Pex, like it's just sometimes it's annoying. But protective pads is also a very good option. I don't mind that one. I just find that it gets knocked off a lot, but I guess you can say that for any item. But yeah, Melmetal is really, really good. It's really, really good. I don't know what else to say. You always need to run Superpower. That's for damn sure. I know I don't run it all the time, but you should run it because there's too much Ferrothorn and other Melmetal style bullshit around. But yeah, it always like gets a kill in my experience. I know it's tough when they have like a Fizdef helmet Corv or a helmet what's it called, Buzzwole, but I have just found Melmetal to be one of the best Glumons. And honestly, if you really do want to get your kill, just run Banded. It'll get its kills. But that guy is that guy's up there for me. I would have put him in A rank, A+. Sorry, A+. Because it's just one of those mons that's very, very effective at their job. It's very, very consistent with what it chooses to do. It's never been a problem. Yeah, that Melmetal is really, really good. Because I'm just thinking about it now. Like with the Assault Vest, it's able to multi-check so many mons, right? Like I've had so many games where Melmetal took a special attack and then it took like a Earthquake from like Garchomp. Like it killed Dragapol after taking the Spec Shadow Ball, then it took Earthquake and it killed both of them with Ice Punch. And it's like, why is that fair? This thing is the best one-for-one mon in the metagame. I mean, look at every mon here and look at how many mons it trades with. Landorus, you trade and you kill it. Dragapult, you trade, you kill it. Heatran, you trade and you kill it with Assault Vest. Weevil, obviously, you trade and kill it. You trade and kill Chomp, Slowking, Feeny, Coco, Torn. You're starting to understand the trend. Like, this thing is crazy nice. So, he'll always... I mean, I think he's the reason Scizor gets any usage. Scizor is fucking terrible, in my opinion. But it gets a lot of usage on the ladder because of Melmetal. But yeah, Melmetal is very good. I would have put him in A+. Ninetales in A. Yeah, Ninetales is like whatever. It's like not good, but it brings quite a nice element to the battle. I only have 2 Hail teams. This is the Light Clay Aurora Veil Hypnosis version, and this is a Moonblast, a Hypnosis like non-Aurora Veil, some new shit, some new. But yeah, all I can say about Ninetales is that it's pretty good when it hits Hypnosis. I do think Aurora Veil teams are strong. I do think it's definitely a valid strategy in the metagame. Watch out for that shit. Watch out for that shit. You might get blown away. You might get blown away playing that. That's all I can say. Literally, that's all I can say about Ninetales. You know what to expect when you play against it. You know your opponent is bringing HO, and you got to be worried. You got to be worried. You actually got to be worried about that thing, especially because it has Hypnosis, which if it lands can get very sticky. I will say this though: if you're playing someone and they have Ninetales and they don't have Hail, who gives a fuck? It's probably just a trash HO. Like, I actually think it's like probably a bad HO if they don't have Arc Assault. Oh, I'm only worried about Ninetales when Arc Assault is there. If it's just a HO, like a Veil HO, I know that shit's garbage. Scizor next. I don't use this mon. I don't have teams with it, so I have one team with it where it's Banded, which is obviously not normal. It's just some fun team I got off my wall. Forgot who gave it to me, but I really like this team. It's very funny. It says Scarf Pelipper, just random ass shit. But yeah, Scizor. I don't understand why this thing is getting usage. It checks Weevil barely, checks Melmetal more decently, checks Cart barely. Yeah, dude, this thing is, I don't understand it. I mean, it beats Lele. That's one thing it beats pretty well if you don't Specs Focus Blast into a KO it. So this thing is the king of pretending to check things, but then it's like, oh, you're actually Scizor. Like, this isn't a Mega Scizor, dude. Like, I don't know. That mon just rose me the wrong way. I don't think it's very good. I don't even understand why people use it. I don't understand what they're using it to check, really. Like, Weevil, sometimes it's annoying, but like, it's not consistent at all to me. It's not, that shit is not for me. Scizor, if it was up to me, I'd throw that bitch at like B rank. He's super ass. Tapu Lele in A rank. I put Tapu Lele in A+ rank. It's very, very good. You guys have seen how much Lele I rock. If we look up Lele, you can see how many. That man's always in the front too. Most of the time, I'm running a Specs or Scarf set. So Scarf, Specs, Life Orb. Ooh, a lot of different shit here. Scarf, Scarf again. This one's Scarf too. So Scarf looks like to be the one I use the most, but Specs is obviously amazing. Look at this team, for example. If it's Specs T-Bow, this team is fucked. Specs T-Bow is cooking this Hail team. Are you crazy? Even Specs Focus Blast in the Hail or Specs Psychic in the Hail cooks this team because Corv can't really just switch in like that. So Lele with Specs is always one of the hardest mons to deal with. I mean, even look at this lineup of A-rank mons. None of these things can even switch into Specs Lele. So Scizor gets 2 KO by Focus Blast, but you gotta hit the Specs move. But yeah, Lele is one of my favorites of Specs. I think it's a great mon. I would have maybe put it in A+. I think it's as good as Coco is, kind of. Kind of get why they didn't, but I don't know. It's really good. Zero Aura and A. I agree. I use Zero Aura quite a lot. It's one of my favorite mons, but I agree he belongs in A rank. He has fallen off in the sense that Landorus is on everybody's team. There's so much Buzzwole and other bullshit like that. I mean, shit, you got me using Specs with Zero Aura. We got this team with Charge Zero Aura. Yes, that's right. This will be getting a video soon. Maybe tomorrow. Don't worry. Charge Zero Aura. I know, it's crazy, but it's true. Yeah, but yeah, Zero Aura, I even had a team with Outrage Zero Aura. This team is funny as fuck. Bulk up Outrage Zero Aura for them chomps. Why would you play rough when you can just outrage? Do real men play rough? No, they don't play. They get mad and they rage outside. That's outrage. Okay, anyway, enough of that bullshit. My feels on A rank. It's like okay for the most part. There's a couple of guys that I would have thrown above. Ferrothorn, Cart, Kyurem, Mel, Lele, and then some guys I don't think are good like Scizor. So yeah, it's basically what I gotta say about A rank. I've told you guys all the sets I consider to be decent on these things, so go try it out. And then of course, like, I mean, I'm going through all my teams. I know I forget to like post the teams in my description, but just to like talk about that, none of these are my teams. Like, people give me teams. All the teams I have are on my Smogon wall. You literally just gotta go to my profile and look at the comments. Except, like, look, Professor Suicune peeked at top 10, and he gives me a team. It's a good team. So, like, it's not like I'm hiding out my teams. A lot of the teams I get from my buddy Stormzone, those aren't my teams to give out. They're my bros, but I mean, it's pretty obvious what each set is when I fucking go through them in the video. So, these are just for all the people who are always like, post a team. Bro, just pause the video and steal the team. I go through it. Like, just pause. Don't be lazy. Just look at this. I go through every team, bro. You got it, bro. This is just for all the people who are always like, post a team, or if you really want to try out the sets. It's all right here for you. It's all right here for you. Everything I've talked about here is all here for you. Like, it's all here for you. You just got to put in the legwork. Anyway, so down to A-. But yeah, that's just like for people who are like, oh, I want to use this. Just pause my vid where I've been doing it. And like, it's all pretty. It's all there for you. It's literally all there for you. A- rank. Okay, so now we got some more interesting mons I use a lot. Buzzwole is a mon I've come around to recently. A mon that I have definitely started enjoying. I like his role a lot in the metagame. I think he's very cool. Helmet. Obviously great. Tanked Cart, all of them for days. Zero Aura. But another set I've been running lately, Big Band. Yes, that's right. Bandit is sick. Very, very strong. Lack of Ice Punch on that one is sad, but this is the offensive Buzzwole team I have with 144 attack, faster than Heatran, which is very, very clutch. But Buzzwole is just nice, man. He's very, very bulky. This one is kind of nice because he still has Fizz Def on it, so you can take the hits from Cart and whatnot. But he's really strong. It's able to deal with Landorus. It can outspeed Heatran and knock that thing out. Offensive mons in general. My only issue with this guy is that Clef is free. Clef is free on him, which is like awful. And so is Pex sometimes. But other than that, I really like Buzzwole. It's a pretty straightforward mon. It just walls a lot of annoying shit. Everybody runs Weevil. Okay, run Buzzwole. Everybody runs Urshifu. Okay, run Buzzwole. Everybody runs Ferrothorn and Landorus. Okay, run Buzzwole. Everyone's running Ice Punch Dragonite. Okay, you get the point. I'm not making myself clear. Everybody's running Melmetal. Okay, use Buzzwole. He's good. He's good. I would have put him in A. He's way better than bozos like Scizor. Dragonite at A-. This is such a travesty. I don't know how they can put this GOAT mon. I don't know what they're doing. Like, I don't know why they would put him in A-, bro. Now, Dragonite is not a mon I used to use in Gen 7 and Gen 6. I didn't think it was that good. I actually have a very good Gen 7 Z-Move D-Knight team, but I digress. Obviously, he wasn't at the top of the meta. I find that in this metagame, he's at the top. No cap, he's at the top. He's amazing. He's amazing. Now, you guys have seen in my videos, I literally am always using this set. Roost, DD, Ice Punch, EQ, Jolly Nature, Heavy Duty Boots. Dragonite always needs Heavy Duty Boots. I do use a team with Specs Dragonite that my buddy Stormzone gave me this shit, which is very, very fun. But for consistency's sake in this video, I'm going to talk about the best set, which is Dragon Dance Boost. So you can see I run this Dragonite set very often. This DD Ice Punch EQ. I'm just going through this so you can see like, yo, what the fuck? He really only uses that one set. I know. I'm a scam, bro. I'm a scam. They're going to catch me on the ladder with all these counter teams for my shit. They're like, oh my god, he's running Dragonite cosplaying as Mamoswine. Yes, it's crazy, but it's true. I have one Dragonite on here that's like Dragon Claw. I'm looking for it. This one? Yeah, Dragon Claw, Earthquake. And then I have one that's dual Wing Beat, obviously. Ice Punch EQ is just the most sturdy, in my opinion. Because Ice Punch lets you nuke Landorus. And yeah, that's really it. It doesn't get fucked up by any misty terrain. Or anything like that. Ice Punch is just a good, solid move. And yeah, this thing is just amazing. I find it to be a very good switch-in thanks to Boots Multiscale, which is like the greatest hack ever. I feel like people don't realize how fucking broken Boots Multiscale is. You can literally switch into every attack and roost it off if you're faster, because you're always gonna have Multiscale activated. Like, dude, it's so cheap. I love Dragonite. I absolutely love it. It's one of my favorite mons. It fits on, like, look how many teams I have with this thing. You'd think we were in Gen 5. You'd think we were in Gen 5, the amount of DD Dragonites I was using. This is a dual Wing Beat version, by the way, but it's a very sturdy mon. It's just good at what he does. He's very consistent, even in a metagame with stuff like Weevil and Dragapol. Oh, Dragapol is the reason I run Jolly on DD Knight, by the way. So at +1, you're faster. I think +1 Dragonite is one of my most favorite like mons to just have in my hands. I always feel like I go crazy with it. Corviknight, if it's not Iron Defense, will lose to you. You can always freeze it with Ice Punch. I'm just saying, it could happen. You wall a lot of mons like Urshifu, Heatran. You wall that shit for days. By the way, it's like the best Heatran switch-in my book. You switch in your Earthquake, get in your faster, and you can roost back up to multi-scale. What more can you ask for? It checks just a lot of shit. It checks Kartana pretty nicely. It's just like a nearly perfect mon in my opinion. I'm a very big Dragonite fan. If it was up to me, sorry I keep opening up that team, by the way. I'm going through my links the wrong way. You guys know that feeling when you keep clicking the wrong tab when you're trying to show something off. But Dragonite for me is the top of A rank. I honestly put it at A+, but I understand why it's not A+. But it's an incredibly good mon to me. Like, it's an incredibly good support option. I would highly recommend running the Specs set too. I find it very fun. Maybe not the strongest set, but nobody expects Specs, so you'll be able to get a lot of surprise kills. Hurricane, Ice Beam, Flamethrower, Focus Blast. Gotta have Focus Blast for Heatran and T-Tar. But yeah, Dragonite, very good mon. He would have been at the top of A rank for me, 100%. If not the bottom of A+. Hippo and A-. Now, I'm not a big Hippo guy. I have one Hippo team, I believe. Yep, this Reuni Sand. And I like this team. I know this is a disgusting team, but I actually quite like it. Hippo, Stealth Rock, Earthquake, Toxic Flag, off Spadef. This is the only Hippo I run. Fully Spadef Hippo. Lets you tank Dragapol, Spec Shadow Balls, Lele, Scarf Psychic, eat it up quite easily. Still retain a good amount of physical defense to take, like, I don't know, like Landorus, Earthquake. You don't take physical hits good though with this, I'll tell you that. Like +2 Life Orb Chomp fucking obliterates this thing and stuff like that. But Spadef Hippo is just nice. It's just a good sturdy mon. It's staying around, taking on, you know, Heatran, Magma Storm doing 25 to 35%. Definitely doesn't do 25, it does like 30 to 38%, something like that. It's just good at like keeping the sand up, being a bulky guy. It's not my cup of tea, but I understand why it's a good mon. It's really nice at cock blocking stuff like Coco, Heatran. Pult really has trouble with it if you just have the Shadow Ball, because you're taking Sand Chip. It can Toxic Landorus, so Landorus can get screwed by it. Torn can get screwed by it by Toxicking. Slowking obviously gets killed by EQ. It's also faster than stuff like Pex, so it can actually kind of pack a punch with EQ, similarly when posed up against Ferrothorn, but it has the same problems as other ground types like Landorus, being weak to Corviknight and stuff like that, if not even more, because it doesn't have any offensive presence. So Hippo is just a rocker in my book. It's nothing really crazy to me. I do like it with Excadrill, which is the point of it on this team, and how I think you should be using Hippo is as an Excadrill type mon, or on like a stall. Hydreigon A-. Hydra is a pretty solid mon. Hydra's a pretty solid mon. Definitely a mon I'm a fan of. Let me see if I actually have Hydreigon teams. It looked like I don't, man. I run like Fire Spin Hydreigon, whatever the hell that is. I have a couple of teams of Specs Hydreigon, which I consider to be pretty good. And then Nasty Plot Roost Life Orb was a set we used to run back in the day quite a bit. If you look at this A- rank, Nasty Plot Hydreigon would fucking 6-0 this. So would Specs though, but you get my point. all Hydreigons are probably worth using. Specs, Life Orb, and Nasty Plot. That thing is a pretty consistent mon. I think Nasty Plot Flash Cannon is still quite potent. Most of the time, if I was gonna pick a mon to switch into Hydreigon, I'd pick like Corv or Pex, and if you Nasty Plot, well, you've lost. So something to think about for sure. I've always rated Hydreigon pretty highly. It's got a good speed tier. It's got good natural bulk. It scares out a lot of stuff, and it's really, really strong. It's faster than stuff like Urshifu, right? By just 1, which is... Yeah, it's faster than Urshifu by just like 1, which is really, really big, actually. It's faster than stuff like Lele, which also comes into play. So something to think about for sure. And it's just a bulkier mon. I would have put him in A rank too. So you can see how I feel about the A minuses. You can see that my A versus A minus is a little changed. Rillaboom and A minus. Now, I don't really be using Rillaboom too much recently. Rillaboom is a fun mon. It's even more fun to lose to. But see, like I don't even have too many teams of this shit. Like all I have is this. What, this bandit shit? I don't even have any. Where are my Rillaboom teams, man? Who took my Rillaboom teams from me? Who took them? I got this DD. Damn, who took my Rillaboom teams from me? This team is cool. This is banded. I mean, you guys know what Rillaboom does. He SDs, he tries to sweep. It's like a very classic regular mon. I will say that it belongs in A minus. That shit's a lot worse than it used to be. Kartana, I run Dragonite on every team. No shit, I think it's bad now. Weevil with its Ice Shard, Corv still everywhere. Torn's presence has definitely been an issue for Rillaboom. Rillaboom's still good, it's just not as good as it once was. I don't really have too much to dwell on this thing. It's just a good offensive pick, good glue, but it's not very bulky, and also, yeah, it's definitely quite checked recently, which, yeah, that's just how it goes for this mon. It's checked quite well so far. Skarmory. Skarm is not a mon I use, but I can understand its potential on bulkier teams. Stall, Spikes, all that stuff. Skarm, I don't actually think I have teams with this guy either, to be honest with you. Yeah, this isn't actually a mon that I use. Right, Gen 8 OU, 1 Glock, 5 Ops, except this was Custab lead, so it doesn't even count. But Skarm, you can also run this, the Stealth Rock, Spikes, Brave Bird, Taunt, Custab Berry set. For those of you who don't know what that is, that's a very relic old set from Gen 5. It's basically to get off the suicide lead hazards with Skarm, but it's not a good set. Mew or Excadrill or whatever is a better option for getting up them suicide rocks. Probably Mew. But yeah, I understand why I use Skarm. It's able to tank on Weavile, it's able to tank on Excadrill, Rillaboom, Melmetal, all those guys. Similar to Corv in that sense, but he's more mediocre than Corv. That's like the best way to put him. He's similar to Corv, but he's so much not as good as Corv. But I will say this. You're going to wish you were playing against a Corv when you have like a Melmetal or like a Weavile. Because you know those guys those guys will get managed. Like they'll manage a Corv, but Skarmory will always wall them. So Skarm I can understand an A- too. It's just a little defensive. I think he would have needed a little bit more for me to get convinced, especially in a metagame with so much Magnezone too. I do think Iron Defense Body Press Skarmory is actually a pretty decent set. That being said, I do think that set's pretty good, but nah. Regular Slowking. CTC uses this. I don't use this. Let me see. I don't really use this too much. I have a CB Weavile team with Teleport, Future Sight. Slowking is just like annoying. It comes in here, it goes for Future Sight, and then it teleports out like a troll. That's all it does. That's literally all it does. It just comes in here, and then you see all of mine are the Glow King, because that's the GOAT. But yeah, heavy duty boots. It's just a good special tank, able to tank the hit from Lele, all that stuff. I don't have much to say. It belongs in A-. It has problems that make the other slows better. It's like the same thing as Slowking to me. I guess I don't know. I mean, as Slowbro to me. Slowking is just whatever. If Future Sights, it teleports and you hope to cheese with it. It's not a very skillful mon. It's not much to really say. It doesn't take skill to use. Volcarona, another mon that takes no skill to use. Now, Volk has fallen off recently with Heatrans getting ridiculous usage. There's a couple of Volk sets you guys run, right? There's a couple of Volk sets to run. You got the 3-attack classic heavy duty boots, Fire Blast, Giga Drain, Psychic, or you run Bug Buzz. You can run the what's it called? Right, you can run Bug Buzz over Giga Drain. Sorry, I just want to explain why I have both sets. Giga Drain is obviously coverage against water type shit. Tapu Fini is a big one for that one, and then Bug Buzz lets you basically nuke Tyranitar, which to me is like the #1. You can get past Stuff like Hydreigon, you don't need Bug Buzz for, but something like Tyranitar, you obviously need Buzz for. Volk is just a good mon, man. Heavy duty boots plus flame body finally gives it some defensive utility. I like a physically defensive bold set. I'm looking for where I have that in my builder, just so I can be like, yeah, see, this is a Flamethrower, Safeguard, Giga Drain. This is just an example of like a more defensive set. Some run Roost over Giga Drain, but this defensive set is nice because you're able to switch in on the steel types a lot more easier. Kartana, Melmetal, all of them have to think before throwing out attacks because they can get burned and then they're useless for the rest of the game. But Volk, another straightforward mon. I could put him in A rank. I still think he's A rank decent, even with Heatran and it always beating Volk. I'm still quite a big fan. So, yeah. Still a big fan of Volk, and if you don't play against Heatran, it's pretty easy to win with Volk. Volk's counters, I'd say its biggest issues are shit like Dragonite and Hippo, stuff like that. So, we're past A- rank, and it has been, what, an hour and 25? Damn. Fucking movie. Viral movie. Okay, so what would I have ranked A-, guys? In order, it would have been D-Knight, then Hydra, then Buzzwole, then Volk, then Rillaboom, then Hippo, then Slowking, then Skarm. Next, we get to B+. Bisharp in B+. Pretty surprising, I'm not gonna lie. Bish is a pretty big threat. I thought people, you know, were more afraid of that thing. But I guess in this metagame with Urshifu being at the top, people would rather run something like Weevil if they're gonna run Dark type. I don't know. I understand why it runs into problems that Weevil also runs into, just that this guy's added slow. But this guy's really, really, really strong. So, I don't know. I think that's definitely worth bringing up. I mean, this guy's really, really, really strong. His +2 knockoff fucking obliterates Corviknight. It's not like Weevil's weak shit. Priority is priority. I've always been kind of partial to Bisharp. I've always felt that it's a very good mon at what it does. Sometimes this search teams thing is messed up, and I gotta Control F for Bisharp. Alright, so we got one team. SD Life Orb Classic, SD Knockoff Sucker Punch Iron Head. You don't have to run Life Orb. I don't even run Life Orb all the time. This team, Black Glasses. I actually made a post on Smogon when I was laddering a couple. Oh shit.
Did you try again?
Hey. My Siri was going crazy. That actually just scared the shit out of me. Oh my god.
Hi.
Stop.
I'm not sure I understand.
Oh my god, I need to unplug this shit. Oh my god, Jeff Bezos is listening to all my shit. Hold on. Get the fuck out of here, Tim Apple. Okay, so sorry. The government, they were spying on me. I don't know, that was ridiculous. Banded Bisharp, another cool set you can run just because it shows you the pure strength of this thing compared to something like Weavile. The Bisharp, you'll recognize how much stronger he hits, especially because you can afford to run Adamant and stuff. B+, it could be an A-, but I understand the B+ ranking. It's just you can't put everything in the top. So Blacephalon and B+. Blicef is a mon I think should go to A-. Maybe not a popular opinion because it is forever walled by Tyranitar, but so is Dragapol. Blicef is just good. It obviously suffers a lot of problems that Dragapol doesn't, which is why I can't really always put him in something like A-. Like I kind of understand the B+ situation, but Specs and Scarf Blicef are very, very good and efficient Pokemon. You guys know how many times I use this. Hold on. Yeah, so I got these two Blacephalon teams I run a lot. Specs on this one, Scarf on that one. Same shit. Gets the job done, very nice. Great revenge killer, great sweeper with its ability. Trick is why I use Trick Feeny, right? It gives you a little support versus the mons you can't break. Absolutely perfect. Blacephalon, one of the best mons, for real. I think it's great at the snowball effect. And you run into some matchups where you're like, oh my god, I'm so happy I have a Specs Blacephalon and not a Specs Dragapol. Bringing that Toxapex 2-hit KO'd. Bringing that Landorus 2-hit KO'd. Like, Specs Blacephalon, you notice the power. That thing is stupidly strong. It hits like 600 special attack with Specs. Blissey next up. Blissey's okay. I think I have like one team. I definitely have a team with Blissey. Right? Oh, do I? I have a Devo team with it. That's interesting. Stealth Rock, Soft Bullet, Seismic Toss, Teleport. Quite an interesting set. Quite an interesting set indeed. But yeah, Blissey is just same shit. Fat, stays around, Toxics, Thunder Waves. I don't think it's good. I never worry when I battle this. I don't have anything to say. I don't use it, so I'm not gonna recommend you use it either, unless it really fits your team. It's good. Like, it's good in the sense that it's not bad. That's what I really mean. It's not like a bad mon. It's just not for me. Nidoking, I like Nidoking. So I got a couple teams of Nidoking on here. Nidoking is a very fun mon. There's a lot of options you can do with Nidoking. You can tech Stealth Rock on it. You can tech superpower on it for Blissey and them. It's very fun. So this set, for example, had Mega Horn and superpower. Crazy shit. I guess Mega Horn was for like Spadef, Slowking, or like Mew. I don't even know. I had this team with a Scarf Nidoking. That was really nice too, because I would be able to lead off versus Lele and stuff, kill them shits. This one again, just Life Orb, 4 attack with Focus Punch. Pretty crazy, but again, to hit the Blissey, because that's like the only real counter to Nidoking, as you guys know. Like, what else counters that thing? We're going back to Vacuum Wave Blaziken, but this is to show a 3 attack Life Orb set. I know this is very old. Fucking Magirna's on this team, but I'm just trying to show my my Nidoking teams off. But Nidoking is definitely good. You look at the A- rank, and it's like, oh shit, that guy would be a big threat with Ice Beam, Earth Power, Sludge Wave coverage, and that's for sure. Even look at A rank, and it's like, oh snap, you know, Clefable can't wall that thing, Pex can't switch in, Ferrothorn can't switch in. You start adding it up, and you're like, oh wow, this thing is really strong. And Nidoking is strong. It's a huge threat in my opinion. I think it could have definitely been in actually no, I think he deserves B+ rank, because he's one of those mons that's hard to pull off, to be honest. But it's not that hard to pull off though. I had some teams from my buddy Devin. Did I delete them? Dang, I had some new Nidoking teams that my bro passed me, but maybe I deleted them. Whatever. It was like a Sash Nidoking. But yeah, Nidoking is good too. Rotom Wash. Now, just recently I've been using Rotom Wash. I'm not too crazy about it. I don't see its defensive utility that much. I don't understand what it's for. Maybe like Melmetal, but it seems quite mediocre to me. I have a team with a Scarf version I need to test a little bit more. It's up here. But yeah, I don't think this mon is that good. It doesn't wall too much stuff. It doesn't really defensively take care of enough to where I rate it as a good Pokemon. It can't check shit either. It's always going to get knocked off. It just seems like it's in B+ because it's Rotom Wash. It's like the way the build of the mon is. It's like its EV spread, moves, and typing is like too good for it to drop below. But it's bad in my opinion, so I'm not going to recommend Rotom Wash. Slowbro at B+. Slowbro at B+. Nah, I like Bro. I think it's a tough mon to beat, especially in this metagame. I think it's better than Slowking. Especially when, like, you know, Urshifu, Garchomp, Landorus, all of them are fucking around. I don't know why you would pick Slowking over Slowbro. Especially because, like, the chief special attacker is what? Lele and Dragapol. Specs Lele already is going to toast Slowking with 2 Moonblast. It's going to do quite a bit. And Dragapol already beats this thing with Shadow Ball. So, it doesn't really make sense. But yeah, I quite prefer Slowbro. Again, just run Future Sight, Teleport. You can run Ice Beam, Thunder Wave, Body Press. All decent options if you want for your specific team's needs. But I'm just telling you what I run. Future Sight, Teleport is the most necessary. The thing with Future Sight Teleport is it gave all these bros a reason to not run Slack Off anymore. It's crazy because they can just force you to switch out instead of forcing you to like be at low HP. They force you to switch out, then they get their HP back versus Regenerator, and then you're in a bad situation because the Future Sight's going to kill your switching. So it's cool. Tangrowth. Tangrowth. No, I got 2 Tangrowth teams. I'll play the one I'll show the one I actually use. Train, Focus Blast, Sleep Powder, Sludge Bomb. This is a set you'll see the most. Sometimes people run Infestation. Sometimes they run Knockoff. Knockoff, obviously, to take the item off the mons that are coming in. And then Infestation is a very cool option because Infestation lets you kill Ferrothorn. You trap it completely. And it also lets you trap Toxapex. Which is actually something that's happened to me when I got slept, infestation, and then I lost because I didn't have leftovers. When I used this set versus Pex, I missed Sleep Powder and I lost, of course, obviously. You know a guy like me and my luck, but I'm joking. Tangrowth is solid. It's a good little wall, but I don't know. It's like better shit to use. It's just whatever. It's not a bad mon. It's actually pretty good mon, I'd say, but I don't know, just easier stuff to use in my opinion. That's all. Bulu, similarly, Bulu is no, Bulu is bad. This thing is bad. I don't know. This is not a mon I would ever recommend. I have a Scarf Bulu team, but this is not a mon I would ever recommend anyone to use. A lot of the mons I use completely fucking obliterate type of Bulu, so it's not something I like to use ever. All of my favorite offensive mons cook it, so it's not for me. Melmetal cooks it. Shit like Latios cooks it. Zapdos, Dragonite, of course, is cooking on that thing. It's just slow. It dies to everything. It ain't for me. Tyranitar. I have one team with Bandit Tyranitar, I think, that I like to use occasionally. Yeah, this one right here. Bandit Tyranitar, Assurance, Rock Blast, Heavy Slam, Earthquake. Very, very nice set. Assurance, if you guys don't know what it does, even I just learned about it when I got this team. Power doubles if target was damaged this turn. So if the opponent switches in to your Tyranitar and you have rocks up, there's basically double power. So this has helped me like Oko, Hippos, and Landoruses. Well, you do like 80% to Hippo, but then you KO the next turn, obviously. But yeah, this is like stupidly strong. Very cool, very cool. You guys have definitely seen the Stealth Rock defensive Tyranitar. Do I have a team with... No, I don't even have any teams after that. But Tyranitar and B Plus is kind of tough. It's kind of sad. Kind of get it though. He's not who he once was. Victini and B Plus. I like Victini. I like Bandit. And I like the Glaciate Heavy Duty Boots set. I think both are actually pretty solid sets. So, yeah. That's all I can say. I think V-Create and the Glaciate sets are both really solid sets. They don't really have too many counters because Glaciate lets you get rid of Garchomp and Landorus. Heatran walls you though, so you're fucked. But Bolt Strike lets you get past the waters, and then V-Create 2-hit KOs, Spadef has Hippo and just kills everybody else. Zapdos and B. Zapdos is a mon I wouldn't have minded seeing an A-. I think defensively he's extremely hard to beat. I think he's always been a complete bastard to defeat defensively. This is the defensive set: Fizz Def, Heavy Duty Boots, Static, Discharge, Roost, Hurricane, Defog, or your own Volt switch over Discharge, but I like Discharge personally. This set's very hard to beat, as you guys know. You can just switch it into U-turns willy-nilly. You can bring in their Sheep with Surging Strikes, paralyze that bum. He's able to wall carts. He's able to wall D-Knights. He's able to be annoying. You guys know how static Zapdos is. It's a bastard. Yeah, solid mon. And then I have recently been using the set I want to talk about, Specs, that my boy Storms put me on. This set is fucking sick. People are sleeping. Set is so strong. No switchings. No switchings. I'm telling you, no switchings. Don't tell me Tyranitar or Blissey. They just get Volt switched on. This thing has no switchings. Highly recommend you stop using weak shit and use this. Very, very good set. I would have put that thing in A-. So my rankings are B+. I mean, I don't really use most of these guys, but the best mons from this are Zapdos, Blissey, Nidoking, Bish, Slowbro, Tang. Moving on, Aegislash and B rank is insane. It is so sad to see this guy have fallen off so heavily in this metagame where he used to be the GOAT. My favorite set for Aegislash is Specs, just this: Shadow Ball, Flash Cannon, Steel Beam, Shadow Sneak. It's like the most effective set. I find Specs Aegislash to still be one of my favorites. Not a lot of switch-ins to that mon exist in Pokemon, period. Again, that thing has 150 special attack, so something like Landorus gets 2-hit KO'd, even if it's Spadef. Corviknight similarly can get 2-hit KO where rocks up. Specs Aegislash has always been a gigantic, stupid threat, and if you play it well, you should be cooking your opponent with that thing. Like, it should be lights out. Look at a lot of my teams. Bro, you're telling me Shadow Ball Specs doesn't destroy, like, half these teams? Like, look at these teams and be like, oh, shit. Like, dude, every team that's weak to Dragapol is going to be weak. Sorry, I got something in my mouth. But every team that's weak to Dragapol is going to be weak to Aegislash by virtue of being weak to the same typing. Aegislash is very good. I would have put him in B+. He's still very, very solid. I don't understand why. I don't understand how you could think that Aegislash is worse than, like, Tapu Bulu and Rotom and even, like, Blissey. Like, what the fuck? Specs is incredibly good. It tanks a hit from everything it can trade. You need to understand how good it is for their mon to be that can just trade 1v1. That's why Melmetal is valued so highly. Aegislash's ranking is just wrong. It should be in B+, if not A-. This is wrong. B makes no sense. Barraskewda only exists on Rain. That being said, it's fantastic on Rain. I wouldn't even use Rain without it. Even though I literally do use Rain without it. I literally don't use it. This is the only Rain I use. Yeah, he can stay in B. He's whatever. He's walled by my boy Dragonite. Oh, Dracozolt. Dracozolt is one of the worst mons I've ever used. I really do not like this Pokemon whatsoever. It's always a threat versus me on the ladder because my teams are ass and they lose to it. But as a mon, I'm really not a fan of it. I'm not a hater either. I'm just telling you mons that I've not had success with, so I don't recommend them. Bolt Beak, Draco Meteor, Fire Blast, Earthquake, right? Those are your coverage options. I just don't like it. You have to find the right option. I find it very easy to pivot around it. I also don't like the fact that Spadef Landorus is the most used mon in the tier, and you're going for a Draco that does like 40% to it. Like, what the fuck? Like, it's trash. Dracozolt is not for me. It's not the mon I like. Two below it are two mons that destroy it anyway. Excadrill and Gastro. X-Gun B rank is crazy. X-Gun B rank is actually crazy. We've never seen that thing drop down to being so mediocre. I only really use this Reuniclus Sand Team with it. Other than that, I don't use it. It's a good mon, but it's really not an offensive threat anymore. And it's not really a threat. Like, I mean, dude, it loses to Corv, bro. Oh, bro, you lost to Corv. You outdated. You outdated. Overrated. Jebaited. You're gone, dude. Excadrill, get him out of here. So yeah, that's Excadrill's problem. Still decent on like a Spadef set with Toxic, something like that. Not a bad option, but nothing crazy. Maybe worth trying out Banded. Gastrodon. I don't run Gastrodon. I'm not with that Gastro East-West Coast shit. You know, I don't like that beef shit, so I stay away from Gastrodon. That being said, what is my Gastrodon team? Scald, Toxic, Clear Smog. This is like what I see usually, just Spadef-ass Gastrodon sitting around walling everybody. It's actually pretty annoying. It's actually able to tank a lot of hits quite nicely. It completely walls shit like Dracozolt, which is cool. You can switch it into Urshifu's Surging Strike. You can switch into Slowking. You can use it to manage actually quite a bit of Pokemon. It fucks up Heatran pretty nicely too. It just suffers competition from Feeny, which is why I don't touch it. That's really it. Hawlucha's great. Hawlucha's great. Offense staple. Let me see my teams with Hawlucha real quick. So I have this team, the classic HO spam. Then I have this team with terrain, obviously. The other team above without terrain. Hold on. This one right here, I believe it has the Power Herb Sky Attack. But yeah, Hawlucha's a really good mon. I've actually lost to it many times as well. I think this is the best mon to run on Veil or screens or whatever the case is. I think that's the absolute best mon to use, and the one I highly recommend that you throw on all of your screens, cheese, no skill HOs. This thing is the definition of like no skill, just run it on your HO. I mean, it's good. It's a good ass mon. Highly recommend it. Use that thing. Next, we have Komodo. Now, Komodo, I have only really been using the defensive version. I have not used any offensive Clangorous, Soul Blaze, or anything like that. But I will say here that I cannot in good conscience recommend that set because I know it's ass. I know it's ass. How you gonna Clangorous Soul when there's all these fairies in this bitch? Like, that shit, that set is ass. You're giving up your HP, ass. I'm sorry, it's not good. There's too many Scarfers, like, what's his name? Lele. Too much stuff like Coco in the metagame to run offensive. It's just like, if you're gonna run offensive, literally run specs. Literally run specs. Look at this metagame and tell me what switches into Clanging Skills, Flash Cannon, Focus Blast, Flamethrower. It's like nothing switches into that shit. But of course, I'm the GOAT and had to bless with such an incredible leak. Oh, Feeny walls it actually. Anyway. So now they'll just be saying shit. I do like defensive Komodo. That is actually what I want to show you guys. I have this team with defensive Komodo, which I find to be really, really solid. Body Press Flamethrower. The Flamethrower is there basically to kill Cart, because I don't think Body Press kills it. And it also hits Corviknight really, really hard in combination with Helmet, because this guy's special attack is really good. Oh, and it also cooks Scizor, obviously. Not that I'm weak to that shit, but you get the point. Defensive Komodo though, I like it. I like it a lot. He's really, really fat, just like he was in Gen 7. Worth a try. Just it's hard to justify using it over other stuff. Mew is really, really scary. Now there's a set I've been losing to a lot recently on the ladder. And now when I say losing to a lot, I mean I lost this shit like 4 times. I beat it 1 time because I froze it with Ice Punch and it would have beat me otherwise. The Mew in question is under screens, so under Aurora Veil or Light Screen Reflect, and it is what's the word? It is Cosmic Power, Taunt, Stored Power, or Cosmic Power, Taunt, Body Press. Taunt is why that shit is broken, because you can't really haze it or anything. You know, you can't really haze it or leech see it or toxic it or whatever. So you're basically forced to have a Pokemon that's faster that can trick it, or a Mon that can kill it. But it's really hard to kill Cosmic Power Mew. That's what I'm trying to say. It's very hard to kill that thing. So I had a lot of games happen where they would just bring it in. The screen would be up. They'd start Cosmic Powering. Oh no. Here I am getting 6-0'd by Stored Power. And I bring in Dragonite and I'm Ice Punching for like 6%. And I lost because it's like, what am I supposed to do? This Mew is completely fucking me up. And you guys know Mew has the natural speed to shut down a lot of guys with Taunt first. So that's a good set. I would recommend using that Mew. You'll probably feel like a god using it. Because I haven't used it yet. Because I haven't found a team with it yet. But shit's broken. Pelipper's ass. I use Specs and Scarf Pelipper. Not much to say. It's pretty ass. I mean, Specs is the best bet you can get with this thing in terms of getting kills. I do run defensive all the time, specifically just for my Seismitoad Rain team here, but I mean, it's still bad as like a Mon. Like, it doesn't do anything as a Mon. It's just good for keeping the rain up. It's Pelipper. Just use Specs if you want to have some fun with it. Reuniclus. Reuniclus is not that bad. I've been using it lately now. The set that everybody seems to run with Reuniclus is actually a especially defensive set. They all run this. Another Reuniclus I have is Stored Power Iron Defense, which I also kind of like a lot with T-Spike support, but this team doesn't have T-Spikes on the Nidoking. It's actually Stealth Rock. But yeah, so Calm Mind, Slash Shock, Thunder, Recover. You might think it's weird to have Spadef and then also be Calm Mind, but the reason this thing is Spadef is basically so it can double as a special wall. This thing doubles as one of the best switch-ins to Lele and stuff like that. Just taking any real rogue special hit is really easy with Reuniclus's massive special defense. It's like 85 and then 424 HP. It adds up really nicely. That being said, this thing still does have a lot of problems it used to have. Weevils on everybody's team, Pulse on everybody's team. You gotta think about that. Also, when you're running full Spadef, this thing is like paper on the Fizz-Def side when you're running full Spadef. It gets obliterated by Earthquakes, U-turns, double Iron Bash, all that shit. So, Reuniclus, you gotta have the right support for it, but it's a good mon regardless. Definitely belongs in B. The only mon from here so far that doesn't belong in B is Aegislash and Mew. Pert, I like Pert. I use him a lot. Only on this team though, but I won this with a tournament in this team. I won in a tournament with this team, so it's goated. Spadef, Swampert, basically what you gotta run just to tank all the Shadow Balls and the Electrics and blah blah blah. You know, you guys know at this point all the ground types do the same thing. They all fucking run Stealth Rock, they all run Earthquake, and they're all Spadef. Right, that's what they all do. Flip Turn is why Swampert's good now. Little initiative here and there. I like it. That's it. Volcanion in B rank. That's pretty surprising considering how much Volcanion I've seen lately. I would have expected to see that guy in B+. I would say he's better than a couple of these guys, if not equal to them as well. Specs and Heavy Duty Boots Volcanion are very good mons. Not a lot of stuff can switch in. If you look at the Gen 8 OU, look at my team, you can see why most of these shits do not have consistent switch-ins to Specs. Steam Eruption guy at all. Feeny, is walled by Steam Eruption guy, which is a pretty good reason to use it in the first place. Dragonite beats it, but if you get burned, you're fucked. That guy's good. I would have put him in B+. But let's keep going. There's still so much shit, and this video's taking forever. I don't want this to be my longest video ever. B- rank. We got all these birds and then bitch ass Blaziken. Well, I'm gonna tell you something right now. Every bitch-ass bird in here is better than everything in B. I literally don't understand how all these guys are in B- below. Like maybe you think I'm lying, but all four of these guys are better than everybody here. Blaziken, put some respect on his name. Put some fucking respect on his name. He is not as bad. Like what is this? These things these are all better than this. I think support-wise, Mandibuzz is still incredible. Zapdos, I only run Bandit, but he's very, very strong and good. Probably better than Drill right now. I don't agree with this. I agree that I truly believe all four of these are better than these. All four of these are better than these. I absolutely believe that. I'd like to see what the tier list says. Blaziken has 2% usage on the highlighter. That's fucked. Mandibuzz does Mandibuzz not even have usage on the highlighter? The hell? Doesn't even have usage. What the hell? Mandibuzz has 28th, 7%. Moltres Galar has 1.39. Zapdos Galar has 47, 3.38. Damn, man. I don't know. These guys are all four mons that I think are very good at what they do. I think Moltres and Zapdos are great offensively. I think Blaziken is decent offensively, but I think he's way better than some of the clowns I saw in B rank. Not fucking with this at all. Very shameful. All of these guys should rise. And then we have C+, aka random memes. So I'll just go through these quick. Azumarill is decent. It's decent. That's all I can say. Belly Drum is decent. But there's still a lot of priority in Kartana, so it's ass. Crawdaunt is actually good. Crawdaunt, just run Banded or whatever. Do I have Crawdaunt team? Yeah, I have one rain with Crawdaunt. Just classic Banded. Very, very solid mon. You guys know what Crawdaunt does. You bring it in, you get your knockoff off, you get your kill, you're done. Crest, only use it on Trick Room where it's good. Gengar deserves to be in B- or B at least. This is shameful. Has no business being with dog shit like Glastrier. They should absolutely move it up. So I'm happy I looked at that. Yep, Gengar definitely has business being higher up. Again, it just goes through the fact that all ghost types are good in this metagame. It's very clear to us that ghost types are like the best. Gengar should be higher up. Doesn't make sense to be with all this trash. Glastrier is terrible. No, it's not a good mon. It's fun. It's super fun, but it's garbage. Grimmsnarl, screens cheese, bad. Jirachi, it's okay. Spadef is good for beating Lele. That's it. Kingdra, it's good on rain. It's actually good on rain with specs. Latias and Latios. Latios is great with specs. Latias is decent with support on Scarf, and both of them are fucking broken if you see them on the dual screens team where they run agility, stored power, weakness policy. If you have never lost that set, you're lying. You're lying. That set cooked my ass. Mamoswine is decent. Not my first pick, but he's decent. It's just I like Kyurem and shit like that more. Primarina is very good with specs. I will say that. He has the natural bulk too to live a lot of these hits. You know, he has a natural bulk to live a lot of hits and then just kind of fire back with a Hydro Pump or Moonblast. Underrated mon, definitely worth testing out, and it's at the higher rank on all these guys. Rotom Heat. Rotom Heat is cool. Defensively, he checks quite a few different mons. Yeah, I actually like Rotom Heat a lot. I think it's a great mon. It's just I haven't had a team with it that I like, but I think it's very good. Suicune, been using Suicune a lot lately. The Sub CM and CM Rest Talk are the two I've been using the most. It's a good defensive mon. I've been using Max Fizdev Bold. I don't even run Speed Investment. Even on my sub Calm Mind Suicune, I'm Max Fizdev Bold. It's a good mon. It's just classic. Tarak, don't use it. Can't talk about it, but he's ass. He's ass just looking at it. Thundurus. I only use Thundurus T on Rain with Weather Ball. Great mon with boots. Very solid. Toxtricity. Toxtricity is great with specs. That's it. It's great with specs. Him and Thundurus at the top. And then Zarude. Zarude's okay, mediocre. Then we get to C rank where we got actual trash. Amoonguss is bad. Ditto is good. Hatterene is good on Trick Room and is actually pretty decent in general. I would have wagered Hatterene is better than a lot of these clowns in C+. Keldeo is terrible. Marowak is good on Trick Room. Porygon 2 is good on Trick Room. Quag is good on Stall. Regieleki is not good. Sorry. It's good at spinning. Seismitoad is amazing on Rain. Shuckle is good on Webs. Togekiss is okay. Torkoal and Venusaur together. I understand the C rank. These are all like gimmicky ass shits, but if I disagreed with any of these, it would be that Ditto should be higher because Ditto's amazing in this offensive metagame. And the rest of these, maybe Hatterene should be higher too. The rest of these are ass. And then we go to C-, which just has stuff I'll never touch. Alakazam, I'd never touch it. You gotta hit Focus Blast. Doesn't seem like something that I would enjoy. Celesteela is okay. Haven't tested enough. Zard is bad. I used it in the sun. I used Belly Drum. I used everything. It sucks. Conkeldurr is okay. Guts Facade is definitely cool. It's definitely not garbage. It's better than most of the shit here. Haxorus is bad. I used Haxorus. It's very hard to pull off a sweep with this thing. Moltres Regular. Moltres Regular is actually decent with heavy duty boots. It's one of my favorites. I highly recommend trying it out. Necrozma. Not big on Necrozma. I have only one team with it, Power Herb. It's just like whatever to me. It's not strong enough. It's not fast enough. It's not bulky enough. It's like a jack of all trades. Rabambi, Webs guy. He does the job well. So I got nothing to say. Shedinja's amazing on Stall. Some teams it completely 6-0s, wipes out. Some of my teams it completely wipes out. Slowbro Galar is bad. Yuxi's bad. Weezing is good. I just used a team with Weezing. CTC gave me it. Oh, I can't find it. Well, it was a great team. It was a great team though. Zatu is bad. So it's basically it. I know I kind of sped through at the end, but dude, this video is 2 hours. What the heck? Basically my tier list for this. You guys kind of should know everything I like and don't like at this point. How I feel about the meta. What my judgments are. I think I made it pretty concise. Let me know in the comments below if you like this type of video. What you did like, what you don't like, what you'd like to see in the future. I'm happy to be posting again. I have recovered pretty well from surgery and everything, so I have energy again. I like enjoy posting and all that stuff now. So yeah, I mean, thank you guys for watching so much. I love making these types of videos. Got a lot more coming, and you guys have a good one. Peace.